It's that time. It is time for the Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. It's a favorite event at any Crankworx festival, and it is time to get started. Welcome to the Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox.
So far, I love this head-to-head format. Holy cow! Pretty darn close.
Look at this!
First tight race of the night.
Welcome to everybody out there joining us. Our second webcast here of our Crankworx World Tour. Brad J, of course, joined by Cam McCall, the legend of free riding. And this is the big day Pump Track Challenge coming your way, presented by RockShox. How stoked are you, man?
Absolutely, this is exciting. This is like the fun event at a Crankworx festival. And this track in particular, it's like an amphitheater setup where the crowd's able to sit right there and look down at them like gladiators. Head-to-head racing format. Speed and style was amazing last night, but it's all about speed here at the Pump Track Challenge.
Well, you say it's fun, but it's becoming serious. Now that it's a world tour and you can be a champion after all three stops, it's becoming pretty important. Money's involved, so these guys are taking it a little bit more seriously than they have in the past, haven't they?
It's true. It's kind of hard to take a pump track super seriously because it's a thing that everybody has in their backyard. It's just a blast, and you know, they're popping up more and more communities around the world. But like you said, with the overall championships on the line, people are definitely starting to take it a little bit more seriously than we've seen in the past.
Well, speaking of communities, what a community that we have here. I tell you what, Rotorua has opened up their arms and welcomed us last year. It's our second year out here, and I'll tell you what, this is the place to be. I'd always wanted to go to New Zealand ever since I was a little kid, about 5 years old. New Zealand was always on my bucket list, and coming out here for the first time last year and being here for a second year in a row, it's so exciting to be part of this amazing place here in Rotorua.
It does not disappoint. You were fantasizing about it as a 5-year-old for good reason. You get here and it delivers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, you and I have talked a lot about the trails. There are some amazing trails out here, and I'll tell you what, why don't you take a look at some of these trails we're talking about. Cam, talk to us about them.
Well, we all know that every world-class mountain bike park has to have that classic jump trail. A-Line and Whistler, here at Skyline Rotorua, it's called Mr. Black.
So basically, this is the signature trail when it comes to being out here in Rotorua at Skyline, right?
Yeah, you know how A-Line has all those tabletop jumps, all those berms? Mr. Black is just like that, but with that Rotorua flair, that beautiful dirt. So when you want to throw roofs at your buddy's goggles around all those berms, Mr. Black is the trail for that.
So it's one of those things, you talk about the sculpted dirt. I mean, the dirt, is that what makes Mr. Black such a signature trail?
Absolutely. You know, these jumps, they're perfectly spaced, and there's options as well. As you see here, we've got two riders taking two of those different options. It's the type of trail you can ride time after time after time and kind of approach it in different ways, manually in different spots, transferring at different spots. Lots of different options such as gap jumps, hips. It's got it all.
And the coolest thing about it, year round. You can ride this 12 months out of the year.
Amazing climate out here in Rotorua, amazing trails. Classic one, Mr. Black right here. If you have a chance to make it to Rotorua, bring any bike because Mr. Black is a trail you gotta hit.
I mean, you just think about all the trails. We talked about them. You've had a chance to ride a couple. Had some bad luck on one of them. We won't even bring that up. But it is an amazing place out here, and we're really enjoying it, aren't you?
Absolutely. It seems like everybody who comes here for whatever reason, they may be coming here just as production staff or just support for some of the athletes, they all bring their bike.
You know who also is here with us, too, today?
Who do we got?
We have Hannah Bernard. She is standing by. Hannah, there's Hannah. Hannah, how are you doing right now?
I'm good. It's a little windy down here, but I'm okay. I got my jacket. I see some of the riders are starting, not Thomas Lamar. He's not putting any extra layers on, but some of the guys are.
Well, wait a minute now. You're from Canada, so you got to be used to a little bit of weather, right?
I know. I feel really embarrassed right now, but yeah, Vancouver isn't too bad. Not this bad.
All right, now we had some drama a little bit in the start yesterday for your Mons Royale dual speed and style.
We did.
Are we going to try and avoid that drama here tonight there, Hannah?
We are. So there are a bit of changes to this course this year, some that we will note later on, but one of the most important changes is that they've added a start gate. So last year, actually, in this event, if you guys remember, there was a bit of controversy around the start between the heat with Annika Burton and Jill Kittner. Now, Jill Kittner actually started a bit early, and it ended up costing her the heat. So to avoid that, they've added in the start gates this year. They actually have officiants watching the gate to make sure that they're not barging it, like we saw yesterday in the dual speed and style with Adrian Laurent. So I guess what we're basically saying to the riders is, we'll be watching you, right? Right, guys?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We want to avoid the drama no matter what. Jill Kittner, that cost her the race. So today, you know that she's thinking about that, and she wants to make sure that that doesn't happen again. All right, so we're talking about the dudes. Let's kind of switch gears and talk about the guys a little bit. Who do we watch for? I mean, I know you got one in your mind, the first guy you want to talk about.
You got to watch Martin Soderstrom. He kind of burst onto the pump track scene a few years ago at Crankworx Whistler. He's known as a slopestyle specialist, and the pump track races were kind of looked at more as a racer's specialty, but you had a slopestyle guy come in there and win one a few years ago. So showing that it's something that all these riders from different disciplines can handle.
Okay, number 2, let's talk about Barry Nobles. There he is right there.
Barry Nobles comes from the BMX background, so a BMX track is very similar to a pump track. He's been blowing tires off the rim, going so fast. A few tubes have perished today in practice, so if he can keep that tire on the rim, he'll be going real fast.
Well, a guy that we affectionately known as Lyle, Kyle Strait in the mix. Here he is right here. What about Kyle? I mean, this guy knows how to get her done.
Yeah, Kyle Strait has pretty much seen and conquered it all, starting out doing World Cup downhill races as a kid, and then kind of just building up as slopestyle built. He's won Rampage twice, but also he knows how to lean back and pump those rollers, and he's had some good finishes out there at pump track challenges in the past.
And you got to give it up for him too, because look, he finished his second place last night in your Mons Royale dual speed and style. So if you're gunning for King of Crankworx, the more events you do, the better you finish. Good for him. So if he could finish good here today and maybe get on the podium, that'd be 2 podiums out of 2 events here in the first stop at Crankworx. So that's good stuff, man. Well, the guys are getting locked and loaded. The ladies are getting locked and loaded because it is coming up. You don't want to go anywhere. It is your Pump Track Challenge coming up right after this, presented by Rock Socks. Stay with us.
People have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua. And Skyline Rotorua, New Zealand's only year-round gondola uplift-assisted mountain bike park right here in Rotorua. And also brought to you by New Zealand. New Zealand government works in partnership with the event sector to support New Zealand's growing reputation as an attractive destination for major events of global significance. And some of the great sponsors holding it down out here for our first stop on the Crankworx World Tour here in Rotorua. All right, you ready to play around with some events here and stuff we want to do that we've been doing here, kind of our little program, if you will?
Fun games, would you call it?
Yeah, I'll call it fun games. How about we do something called In, Out, and On the Bubble? You want to play that one?
My favorite. Let's play.
Okay, In, Out, and On the Bubble. We've been talking about this. What is in this year?
In is obviously the crowd wave. This course is set up in such a way where you have this amphitheater set up. Look at where the crowd is sitting and looking down at the riders like gladiators, and the crowd is kind of 360 wrapped around the course. So let's see if we can get another wave going. Maybe the Rotorua Surf Report is going to get us something exciting tonight.
Talking about what's out this year.
Well, knobby tires were in last night for the speed and style with those flat corners, but for the pump track, the less rolling resistance, the better. So you're going to see a lot of athletes out there with those smooth profile tires, so they're able to generate as much speed as possible.
All right, On the Bubble this year.
On the bubble is Hawaiian shirts, because we saw some Hawaiian shirts last year, and as we've talked about before, Pump Track is a fun event, but the reason why it's on the bubble is because people are starting to take it a little bit more seriously because there's those points on the line, but luckily we still see some crazy shirts out there. It looks like a little tie-dye action. People are still having fun with it.
Well, it's a relatively young event. I mean, I think it was back in 2009 when we kind of got this thing started for Pump Track, but in those years, there's been some rivalries that have developed, not only with the guys, but on the ladies' side as well. Let's talk about the rivalries and look at some of the matchups. That's a big matchup right there, Cam.
Jill Kenner on the left side of your screen there, Annika Bearden on the right. Of course, they were facing each other in the finals here at the Pump Track Challenge last year in Rotorua. And yeah, there was a little bit of drama with the start. We had to kind of deal with a little bit of drama there. Jill got stuck in the gate. This year, they've implemented a different gate. We saw drama with that gate last night in Speed and Style too. So who knows what we're going to see here tonight.
So do you think it's a redemption situation? You know, Jill Kintner, she wants to take care of business. She had that little mess up last year, but no doubt about it, she wants to take care of that and get the win, because she's won it more than anyone else when it comes to Pump Track.
Game face, looks like she has it.
It definitely does. And it looks like she was... All right, well, it's time to get things started. We've narrowed the field. The round of 16 is what we are going to start with. Big crowd on hand. And remember, we asked you guys to do the wave. So if you guys want to start that up at any time, we'd be stoked to see it. So we'll get it going here. Our first matchups getting in the gates. And I'm excited to see this because you and I have been doing this for many years now. And here we go. It's all coming to fruition as we're about ready to start our Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. I almost called it our dual speed and style. Big crowd on hand as we get our matchups locked and loaded for you. Use Wichman was the big winner last year. Speaking about a big winner, that guy on the left, he was the winner last night. We're talking about Thomas Slavic from the Czech Republic and Rion Bo from New Zealand. So we got Kiwi versus Czech Republic going to start things off. And both those guys competed in the Mons Royale dual speed and style.
Yeah, both those guys were trying to collect points last night, collecting points tonight. The King of Crankworx thing is obviously a story throughout the whole tour this year.
So you got Thomas Slavic, he is on the left, and then on the right, Rion Bo. Now, Slavic had a 7-year hiatus from Crankworx. He comes back and then takes the win last night. To be gone for 7 years and not competing out here at Crankworx, but then to come back and take a win, that's the way you want to start things off.
And to win an event that usually favors the slopestyle guys with the tricks. He went so incredibly fast on the speed and style last night. Didn't throw a single trick, but he was going fast enough to be able to beat the entire field.
Is that something you'd like to see it happen like that? Do you want to see these guys having to throw tricks down? We were talking about that.
Well, Kyle Strait was so close to him, and he threw that double tail up. You know, like, it's really tough figuring out what the best format is, but we're starting right now with the Pump Track Challenge. Rion Bo and Thomas Slavic. Looks like Thomas Slavic a little bit ahead right now coming into that final straightaway. He'll cross the finish line first by a margin of 0.73.
So Slavic up to what he did yesterday. He was fast yesterday. He's fast again today, and he's going to take the winner of run number 1. So there'll be a difference between those guys. They'll switch courses, and they'll go at it again. But I'll tell you what, if he's anything like he was last night, he is going to be a tough cookie to beat. But there's a few different guys that you were down there kind of getting your finger on the pulse and talking to some of the other riders. And there's another guy that we're going to be seeing pretty soon. Do you think he's got a little BMX background? But we'll get to that in a second. Let's stack and rack our next competitors here.
Looks like we have Bas van Steenbergen versus Fabian Cusini.
So Couscous versus Bass. So France versus Canada.
So Bas van Steenbergen on the right side of your screen right now. Riders looking to get out to a pretty even start. Who's going to get to that back berm first? Wow, they're really neck and neck into that final straightaway. Oh, mirror image courses right here, and really tight racing. Only 0.19 separating Bas van Steenbergen and Fabian Cusini. Van Steenbergen crossing that finish line first on this heat.
So Bass is going to have the advantage. Once again, this is how it works. They switch sides and go again. And here's a look at Tommy G getting locked and loaded. He's ready to go here. Tommy G, you'll see him competing in slope style. And he's going against Peter Bethel, the Kiwi. So Belgian versus New Zealand.
Well, there we go. Thomas Janon on the left side of your screen. Peter Bethel from New Zealand, his competitor. Well, another heat where they're neck and neck, but it looks like Thomas Janon will cross the finish line first by 0.66. Thomas Janon, of course, the slopestyle specialist, took the win out at Crankworx Whistler in 2012, but no slouch on a pump track either.
Oh, wait, wasn't that the year that you were on the podium too that year?
And I accidentally chipped his tooth with a champagne bottle. Sorry, Tommy G.
Did you really?
Yeah, look at his teeth.
Yeah, all right. Well, Tommy G, he says he's kind of testing the waters out here. He didn't know how he was going to do, but he's looking good so far to start things off. Oh, Tomas Lemoyne and Eddie Masters now going to go head-to-head.
Look at this headshot of Eddie Masters. I love it. He's the only one who has a headshot. He's got that much personality.
Well, he's the Kiwi, so you got to give the Kiwi the headshot for sure.
We're seeing a lot of slopestyle guys out here at the Pump Track Challenge. Martin Soderstrom pretty much paved the way for the slopestyle guys years ago, showing that it's possible to get on the podium as a jump and slopestyle freeride specialist. So Thomas Lemoyne, another rider we'll see out here during the slopestyle on Saturday, trying his hand at Pump Track.
Oh, here we go. Riders in the gate. Here we go. Our next matchup.
Well, this appears to be a bit of a buy round. Eddie Masters, I saw him in the burrito line earlier. We were talking about which burrito is best to order. And I don't know, maybe he's still nibbling on that thing because he didn't show up for this heat.
Okay, so why would they take a buy right here, being that Masters is not here? Why does he even have to go?
Well, you got to take a run. You know, he boosted that finish line jump right there for the crowd. But sometimes the way things are bracketed, you just get a bye based on your seating. But it shows here that Eddie Masters was supposed to be out there, and I'm not so sure he wasn't eating his burrito.
So maybe he's going to come back. He only wants to do one. Maybe that's it. All
You're
right.
going to have a big differential to make up if you're eating a burrito instead of you're riding your first run.
So Johannes Hanley on the right we saw, and then Nobles right here. Nobles, he is on the left.
We touched on Barry Nobles at the top of the show, BMX specialist. Definitely looking real good at speed and style last night, and of course getting a nice snap out of the gate. Barry Nobles, see if he can keep those tires on the rim. He's been blitzing those berms so hard in practice that he was going through some tubes, but styling across the finish line, a little bit ahead of Johannes there by 0.68.
Well, he's definitely one of the contenders out there and proving it as Barry Nobles comes away the winner of run number 1 on their matchup. And Johannes will have his work cut out for him.
Well, let's explain the format a little bit. So head-to-head format, you take one run and then you switch courses, and you got to beat your competitor by more than they beat you by. So that's why we have that differential score listed down there at the bottom of the screen.
And there's a max. If you fall, then there is a max differential, right?
It looks like the max differential on this course was 1.03, because when we saw Eddie Masters not show up because he was eating his burrito, that looked to be the max differential on his side there.
Well, this is actually the 4th event, because yesterday, of course, we had the Montreal dual speed style. Then we also had best whip, and then we also had giant toe enduro. And let's kind of take a look at some of the highlights for our first 2 events. Take a look here. Started things out 2 days ago with the giant toe enduro, and I'll tell you what, that's what you do. You start with a bang.
What a great place for an enduro race. So many trails here at Skyline, but also out in the Redwoods. Some of these stages were out on all the trails that everybody's been riding recreationally, but the pace that these guys were at racing this trail, absolutely ridiculous.
And guys like Josh Carlson doing his things. He's preparing for the EWS. Josh Carlson, of course, out of Australia, but now living in the BC area. And then this man, Brooke McDonald,
Look at that, Brooke McDonald putting down the downhill bike for a day, getting out there at the enduro.
And the spank whip off right there. This is when things got nutty. And you know what I'm talking about when I talk about nutty, because I'm talking about a guy by the name of R-Dog who took care of business.
Well, this was the first time that the whip off took place on a jump specifically made for whipping. So you saw everybody getting so much more sideways and upside down than years past. Ryan Howard, he came out swinging. Everybody was fighting for second place because it was obvious right away that Ryan Howard was going to take away the win.
The whip off's presented by Spank. Oh, man, our dog just looking so sweet. And that's not only the win on the gold this year, but he won it again. He won it last year, too, in Best Whip. Next up, we got Cody Johnson from the U.S. Connor McFarlane, of course, on the right from New Zealand. So here we go, the next matchup.
Well, Cody Johnson put on such a show last year. I think he was actually wearing the Hawaiian shirt last year, and that's why we're talking about it still now. But neck and neck, Connor McFarlane from New Zealand. Cody Johnson bobbling a little bit on that rhythm section, and he's going to take that maximum differential of 1.03 behind Connor McFarlane.
And he knows, too. Cody Johnson knows that he made a little mistake there, and that's going to cost him that first one, so he's going to have another shot at it. But once again, you're going to have to make it up when it comes down to it. A 1.03, that's the difference for those guys.
And 1.03 is obviously manageable, but the course is very short, so you got to be really, really pumping to be able to make that up.
Yeah, I got to be on point. Phil Atwill from Great Britain out of the UK. Then Kyle Strait, he's going to be on the right. There's a look at Phil right there. Phil competed yesterday and talked about Kyle. Looks like that game face is ready to go. Here we go. Kyle Strait versus Phil Atwill. USA versus Great Britain.
Wow, there we go. Kyle opting for the one-footed push-off start technique. Seems to be working for him as he gets to that back straightaway.
Look at this.
Man, Phil Atwill really catching up right here. Oh, this is going to be the closest one yet. 0.01.
No.
Could you get any closer? Kyle Strait taking the lead by the smallest possible margin. 0.01 over Phil Atwill.
So you commented on the 1 foot push off right there. So let's see if we can kind of take a look at that one. The 1 footed push off you kind of saw him do up to start, but this is as we pick it up during the race.
Well, man, how close is that? You know what? We were talking about how you want slick tires, but in a case like that, you might want a knobby front tire just to cross the finish line first.
Well, I mean, it's 0.01, so that doesn't even, that's nothing. All he needs to do is beat Phil on the next one, and pretty much that he could be the guy moving on, because 0.01 is almost as much as a tie. So we got a bye race here going on right here on the next matchup.
This is my guy right here, Connor Mahuika. I just met him like 10 minutes ago. I was watching him in practice, and he was riding so fast, so I needed to learn a little bit more about him. He's from here in Rotorua, only 16 years old, qualifying high enough to where he has one of those bye laps like we were talking about earlier. Basically a practice run, a showboat run for the crowd. And he'll obviously make it out of this run because he does not have a competitor. But we're going to be watching him all night because he's been turning heads during practice and seeding.
And that's one of those situations, like you want to see him matched up against someone to see exactly how fast he is, because that kid is fast right there. And now we go back up top, focus on this one. There he is, Adrian Larone. A controversy yesterday, but that's a different day. This is all about today now. And America Mikey Hatterer, he's going against. There's Mikey on the right, Adrian on the left. Here we go, France versus USA.
Well, there we go, Adrian waiting for the gate to drop before he started. He got a little excited last night during dual speed and style, but he's calm, cool, and composed tonight, crossing the finish line first, tapping that gate, and 1.03ing Mikey Hatterer right there. So Mikey's going to have a little bit of ground to make up once they switch sides.
I like how Mikey brought the bling out there with that epic jacket that he's rolling with today.
Last year's Hawaiian shirts, this year it's all about tie-dye and spacesuits.
He could go to the moon with that outfit. All right, we'll take it back up top here. Big crowd on hand for you. Welcome to our third day of action going on here in our second webcast. Before we get to our next matchup here, I think we're going to check in with Hannah Bernard, third member of our team. What's going on, Hannah?
Thanks very much, guys. Well, we're here at the Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox, so I thought, why not talk to a RockShox athlete, the big Swede, Martin Soderstrom. Now, he's changed up his setup as far as his sweater. He's putting that on because it's a little cool down here. But Martin, I want to talk about the change in bike setup from dual speed and style yesterday to today on the Pump Track. How has things changed on your bike?
Yeah, looking at this, I should maybe change it up a little bit, but it's actually not a big change from pump track to speed and style. I normally adjust the compression a little bit, so it's a little bit firmer, because on a pump track, it's not many like rough parts of the course. It's mostly pretty smooth, but on the speed and style, it's definitely a bit more rough, and that's when you can need some more like, smoother travel. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, now this year on the Crankworx World Tour, RockShox is the presenter of all 3 Pump Track challenges. As a RockShox athlete, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's actually like really cool to always have their support there, and like I mean, it's obviously never a problem with anything, any of the products, but like if there's something and you want to like ask them if what would be good for this course, and then they could give you some feedback, and yeah, it's actually really, really nice. So I think we did a good job for tonight, so I got a good feeling.
All right, you're about to go on the course. How are you feeling right now?
It's good. It's a little bit chilly for being like here in New Zealand, but I'm from Sweden, so I'm used to that, so should be good.
The more you ride, the warmer you will get. Best of luck in the first run.
Thank you.
I like that. She's giving a little pointer right there. Hey, just keep riding and you're going to warm right up. Thank you, Hannah.
Jumping jacks. I feel like that would be a good idea at this point.
James Walter, from New Zealand. He is now on the left. And Louis Ribaud from France, he is on the right. And we're off.
There we go. Louis Ribaud on the right side of your screen. He's a slopestyle specialist. He'll be out here on Saturday. We're looking at James Walter from New Zealand actually exiting that back berm first. Is he going to cross the finish line first? Oh, 0.03, Brad.
They almost traded some paint there at the end. James Walter, 0.03, the winner, Louis Ribaud. Let's take a look at that finish here.
All right, let's see how tight this was right here. James deciding to air it out and gap all the way to that last roller. Louis pumping, both of them kind of using a little body English, trying to cross that finish line, but not run into each other as well.
Well, so Louis will have the advantage of those two when they match up and switch sides, and more coming up right here. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for joining us out here. What an amazing day it's been, and it continues to amaze all the stuff going on here. It is your Pump Track Challenge presented by Rock Sox. More racing coming up right after this. Stay with us.
I'm the baddest mother up in here, and I'm about to make it clear. It's going down like I told you. I'm the baddest mother up in here. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'll have you begging for mercy, begging for mercy. Oh, I'm dangerous.
30,000 trails in your pocket. Crankworx. Download the free app now.
And Crankworx Rotorua brought to you by SRAM. They've been holding it down here for a long time at Crankworx. We appreciate all their support from SRAM. And also brought to you by, famously, Rotorua. Love mountain biking? Want to ride on some of the best trails in the world? Check out how by visiting rotoruanz.com. And of course, by Whistler Mountain Bike Park. When we talk about the epicenter of mountain biking, that's it, Whistler Mountain Bike Park. Make sure you make a plan to join Crankworx out there in August for that one. Cam McCall, Brad J here in the booth, and we're going to our next matchup. Sean McCarroll from Australia. Oh, Aussie versus Kiwi. Matthew 2. Here we go. These guys hate each other.
Wow, man, Sean McCarroll, that's a name I haven't heard for a long time. Legendary racer from back in the day, trying his hand at the pump track race here at Crankworx Rotorua. Let's see how he does. Looks like he's going to cross the finish line first there by almost half a second. Sean McCarroll out of Australia.
So Sean right there, winner run number 1. Matty 2 from New Zealand have the .48. That's going to be the difference between those guys right there as they get set to do it again. And there's the big Swede right there on the right, Martin Soderstrom, and Jeremy Berthier from France. So Berthier and Soderstrom going head-to-head here.
There we go. Jeremy Berthier versus Martin Soderstrom. Looks like Martin's out to a bit of a head start. He made it to that back berm first. He's already at the final straightaway, crossing the finish line by a gap of 1.03, that max differential. Jeremy Berthier is going to have a little bit of work ahead of him, but Martin Soderstrom off to a great start tonight.
You know, it was funny because a couple of years ago, Martin competed out there in Whistler and got up on the podium there in pump track. I didn't know he had those pump track skills, but man, that guy is amazing on a bike no matter what it is, whether it's speed and style, whether it's pump track, whether it's slope style, he can do it all. Anton Taylander now Another Swede ready to go. Rupert Chapman, the Kiwi. So Swede versus New Zealand. Here we go.
Well, we saw Martin Soderstrom last heat. Now we have his protege, Anton Thielander, another Swedish rider, growing up riding with Martin. Martin showing him the ropes and giving him all of his skill sets. And now, oh, wow, Rupert Chapman in that motorcycle open face helmet going for broke, trying to do whatever he can to finish that, cross that finish line first, but basically rolled through there with his body and no bike. Let's take a look back at this. Oh, man, he just kind of tank slappered over those last two rollers, lost the front wheel. Check it out.
So does he get across? You have to come across with your bike. Isn't that the rule?
Well, let's see. Does his head cross the finish line? Where exactly is the finish line? Because his motorcycle helmet looks like it was his leading center right there.
Well, that's an interesting turnabout right there. He's going to want to clean that one up, as you say.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to go back to the rules and find out if you can cross the finish line with your head, and will it still count?
I've never seen it, so I don't know. Tim Ferguson, the Kiwi now, Max Fredriksson, another Swede, so back-to-back-to-back Swedes now. Here we go.
3 Swedes in a row here. This time it's Max Fredriksson. Basically, the third rider out of Sweden to make big splashes on the slopestyle circuit. He'll be competing on Saturday in his first diamond event in his career. And crossing the finish line first is Max Fredriksson. Swedes doing well out here tonight.
Yeah, saw Anton do his thing, Max do his thing, and of course Martin doing his thing. So they have both won their first matchups.
Well, apparently there's a fourth Swede on the way too. We had Martin, then Anton, then Max, and they've got another one they're farming up, so we'll see him out here eventually.
There's sick Mick Hanna right there, the Aussie against Keegan Wright. And Mick got defeated by Lemoyne last year out here in New Zealand. Here we go.
Well, Mick Hanna on the left side of your screen here starting out. Another guy to keep your eye on for that King of Crankworx title, entering into a lot of different disciplines, but right now fighting it out against Keegan Wright. And it looks like Keegan's going to cross the finish line first.
So Keegan will get across first over sick Mick Hanna, so they'll have to stack and rack them again. Taking another look here.
Well, take a look back. Keegan styling out over those last 3 rollers and leaning back, putting the heels down on the pedals and pumping one last time to cross the finish line first. Keegan was out last year during the pump track races, definitely making waves and putting it to Mick Hanna, man. There's something to be said for that.
All right, this guy's got the best beard in the business right here. Take a look at this next matchup right now. We have on your right.
Looks like we got a camera operator caressing that beard.
Andrew Hickey and Matt Walker. That's kind of creepy right there. Hickey versus Walker.
That must have been Dan Campbell.
Walker, of course, he was the winner of Giant Toa Enduro, so he's making a bid for that King of Crankworx for sure. Now, that beard does not look aerodynamic.
Yeah, you know, we talk about the Pump Track Challenge kind of being all about fun. Maybe he doesn't care about the aerodynamics.
Best beard in the business.
Look good, feel good, ride well. So here's our next heat. Andrew Hickey out of New Zealand versus Matt Walker, who won the Enduro a couple nights ago. And Matt Walker just really putting the pedal to the metal, making his campaign for King of Crankworx a big win in the Enduro. Obviously a great way to start things out for him, but ticking away the heats now in the Pump Track Challenge.
Well, you talk about that, like Walker winning Giant Toa Enduro, and then if he could come out and get on the podium out here, that'd be 2 podiums on the first stop. That's what you need to do. That's how you're gonna have a chance to win King of Crankworx. That's for sure. Next up, here we go. Our next riders in the gate, ready to do battle out here.
You see some riders throwing on the sweatshirt. It is chilly out here. Luckily, there's no jumps on this course because the wind is blowing. The air has cooled. This is our only evening event out here. We're going to be doing it under the lights by the time we get out to the finals.
So here we go, Rian Bo, Thomas Slavic. So Slavic has opted for the jacket there on the right. Rian Bo on the left. And the advantage going to Thomas. Remember, he is the winner last night. Your Mons Royale duel, speed and style.
So we have switched sides right now. Thomas Slavic and Rian Bo switching sides. And that .73 differential must be made up. But Thomas Slavic looking so strong. So It's going to be Thomas Slavic moving on into the next round.
And you could say bye-bye to Riambo. He has been eliminated. So Thomas Slavic is en route again. I mean, he took the win, 7-year hiatus from Crankworx, comes out, wins Montreal dual speed and style, and he's looking faster tonight, Cam.
Well, Slavic spent all night last night just knocking people out of those rounds. So reminiscent of what we saw just 24 hours ago, does he have what it takes to do it again and take another gold?
All right, now we got Couscous, Fabian Cusini, and then Bass Van Steenbergen. Bass, the winner of run number 1. So if he could do it right here, say bye-bye to Couscous. But it's only 0.19 is the difference between these guys as they match up for their second and final time here tonight.
We got 2 racers here, Fabian Cusini and Bass Van Steenbergen. Bass competing in Rampage as well, so kind of a bit of a free racer. That's what they're calling him these days. All right, Fabian Cusini and Bass Van Steenbergen.
Couscous got the jump there. Oh, look at this!
Fabian Cusini ahead on the final straightaway. Can Bass catch up? He's so good in the rollers, but not good enough.
So,
0.19.
So the difference, oh, that's going to do it. Looks like Bass will be advancing on. Did I see that as he advanced?
That was pretty tight. I'm not sure. We're going to have to crunch the numbers and do the math. Let's take a look back at the finish line right here. Obviously, Fabian Cusini crossing the line first. We're going to have to do the math and figure out what the advantage has to say about that from the first round.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty darn tight, man. All right, here we go right now. So look, they show that they're both advancing.
Okay, so I see what happened here. So basically the advantage from the first round is exactly the same as what our difference was in the second round. How in the world do we handle a tie like this?
I don't know.
Rock, paper, scissors, perhaps.
All right, let's.
They're going to do
They're going to rock, paper, scissors for the win? I don't think that's part of the show.
Well, they're tying him up. There we go. Looks like Bass took the tiebreaker, throwing paper to Fabian's rock. All right, let's take a look back at this whole entire run. Man, these guys are very evenly matched, and these courses are mirror image, and they usually turn out to be pretty similar when you lay them out like that. And it just goes to show how these guys are riding at the same pace. They switch courses and had the same exact time on each course.
Oh, there you go. It's official. Fabian will advance, so that's going to do it for Bass. He has been eliminated. I'll tell you what. Wow. That was a close one. Look at that, 0.01.
So they have the ability to go even deeper. I think once it's exactly the same, they can go into the timing and scoring and figure out that next decimal point. And
now Tommy G, winner of run number 1 from Belgium, and Peter Bethel from New Zealand. He's got to make up a 0.66.
Look at that focus from Thomas Janon.
And here we go. Back to racing. Tommy G looks like he's got the lead here.
Thomas Janon making it to that back berm first, so entering the final straightaway first. Right in the rear wheel for the majority of that final straightaway, crossing the finish line with 0.79.
Yeah, Tommy G is going to take the win there, and that means he is going to be advancing on and bye-bye to Bethel. He is done for the day. Congratulations, Tommy G. He's done what he needed to do, and he's moving on. And he was talking to him before he was going to compete. He goes, I don't even know how I'm going to do in pump track. I'm just going to check it out and see how it flows. And so far, so good for Tommy G, right?
Well, maybe he doesn't even know his own strength. This kid has so much bike handling. Obviously, he's going to do well out here at the pump track race.
And the thing is, you know, not everyone can win. You got big names being eliminated, and you got guys moving on that are big names as well. So another Byron, Eddie Masters did not show up. You said you saw him eating a burrito. Maybe that burrito didn't agree with him, and he's not able to come back out. Thomas Lemoyne, what are we looking for here, Cam?
All right, so take a look at how when he gets to the backside of these rollers, he puts all of his weight behind the back tire. It basically helps him generate speed. So you want to be light over the crest of those rollers and heavy on the way down. So you don't lose speed going up, but you gain it on the way down.
And you want to double it up. It seems like a lot of the guys are doubling it up right there at the end to kind of keep that speed going.
Yeah, you see a lot of riders just manually through the rollers, only putting one wheel in there, and that's a great way to keep your weight back and also pump speed. And especially if you're doing a buy run, it just looks cool. The more rollers you can manual, the more you're going to get the crowd hooting and hollering.
All right, here we go. Back up to the top. Let's focus on this one. Johannes Henley from Germany. Barry Nobles, he's the winner of run number 1. Oh, okay, that's the closest Hawaiian shirt that we've seen so far. Oh, yeah, it's tropical drinks, the umbrella, nicely done.
Look at that. He was paying attention. Last year, it was working for Cody Johnson, so Johannes from Germany out here giving it a whirl. He's got a disadvantage to make up, but the Hawaiian shirt usually helps out. We're talking about look good, feel good, ride well. Barry Noble's riding very, very well. Man, tough to beat Barry Nobles on a pump track. He spent his entire life pumping rollers. He's right at home, and he will advance.
That's a shame, though. I wanted to see that Hawaiian shirt continue on, but.
Well, we've had tie-dye, we've had space suits, we've got a shirt with cocktail drinks on it. You don't see that in any other event at a Crankworx festival.
All right, earlier today, Hannah had the opportunity to catch up with the Empire Dirt crew, and let's take a look on how that went down. Check this out.
All right, well, I am here with the Empire Dirt guys. We have Chris, we have Craig, and we have Adam. And these guys are the masterminds behind the courses here at Crankworx Rotorua. So if you're a fan, these are the guys to thank. They're the masterminds behind the dual speed and style, the downhill, and the course right behind me, the pump track. So guys, talk to me a little bit about this event, how cool it is, and what it means to riders here at Crankworx Rotorua.
Oh, I think it's such an amazing event. Like, everyone gets super stoked. There's just a great crowd here. It's just a tight, compact event, and I don't know. I'm blown away. I can't believe it. It's just amazing, you know?
I love the enthusiasm. And now talk to me a little bit about the course. It has changed up a little bit from last year. What kind of changes are we going to see here tonight?
Yeah, we'd use the same track from last year, but we've just changed up from a last long straight. We've added a few more berms and rollers just to mix it up and make it a bit more fun for the riders and a bit more technical. So it'll be good for racing for the spectators. It's going to be great. A good show.
Can you talk to a little bit about how long it takes to build a course like this?
Oh, well, last year with the raw shape from the ground zero up took us about a month to build, and then this year we've taken about 3 weeks to make the changes, and we've made the berms higher, and like I say before, we changed the last straight to a rhythm and berm section. So good 3 weeks solid work from the lads to make this track.
So it isn't easy, but for those of the riders that are trying to make a pump track in their backyard, what words of advice do you have for them?
I'd say don't make the corners too tight, don't make the rollers too deep, and just make it fun, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
That's what pump track is all about. It's fun. Now, I got to ask as well, guys, are you excited for this event?
Yeah, I'm hanging out to see the racing go down. It's going to be awesome.
All right, well, I'm excited too. The Empire Dirt guys here at the Pump Track Challenge presented by Rockshox.
Nice, man. I want to just start putting one in my backyard right now, man. They do it right. I'll tell you what.
The Empire Dirt guys, so inspiring. They're artists. You can take the best dirt in the world, but unless you know what to do with it, you know, it's just a pile of rubbish. So these guys turn it into rideable works of art.
All right, Connor McFarland in winter run number 1. Cody Johnson. Cody Johnson had a little trouble. Let's see if he can clean things up here. Here we go. Next matchup for these guys.
Well, Cody Johnson really wants to make it out of this heat, but he's going to have to do it by more than 0.03. It looks like he's coming through the finish line first, but will it be by enough? 0.95 so close, but not going to be enough.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to do it from the mistake right there. That's going to cost it for Cody Johnson, and Connor's going to be moving on.
Well, that's a shame. He did so well out here last year. Made it into, man, just made it really far through the night. We were hoping to see him do it again, but Connor McFarland, the Kiwi, well-rounded Kiwi, making it into the next round.
We almost got to give him credit, because Cody Johnson was the originator when it came to the Hawaiian shirt. Now we got Kyle Strait, Phil Atwill next up. Kyle Strait, the winner, run number 1 by just 0.01, Cam.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see them get these guys switch sides and go at it again, because they were identical in the last heat. Both of these guys competing last night in speed and style. Phil Atwill, just an entertainer last night.
That one-footed start that you're going to see here.
So Kyle using that one-footed technique, pushing off that foot on the floor and then pushing down on that one pedal.
Oh, look at this. This is close, down to the wire.
Wow, looks like Phil Atwill is going to cross the finish line first, and since they were so close before, he will be the one moving on. Kyle Strait's night is over. Well, that's a tough thing about these instant elimination heats is, you know, you love these riders, you want to see them move on, but you get 2 of your favorites in a heat together, and only one can survive.
Well, congratulations, of course. Got to give it up Kyle Strait, second place, Montreal dual speed and style yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't go his way in that second matchup with Phil, and he is going to be sent packing. That's going to do it for Lyle. Kyle Strait, he is done for the day. And Phil Atwill will be moving on. He's going to face the winner of our next matchup, and obviously that's going to be Connor, the guy that you talked to earlier, right?
Connor Mahuika, man, from Rotorua, 16 years old, He rides the Pegasus trails here in Rotorua. And man, those trails, I've never seen them, but they must be a thing of beauty because this guy has acquired quite the skill set.
And we haven't seen him match up. We haven't seen him match up against anyone yet. So we just see him by himself. So it's going to be exciting to see when he goes against Phil out 12 to see how he does.
Well, he's able to use this run to stay loose, but take a look at these manuals. Oh, look at the style.
Gosh. Oh, man. Well, he is going to be moving on. He is going to face Phil Atwell right there. First round, getting through it.
Look at him laughing.
He is laughing it up.
Well, he's realizing who he goes against in the next round.
Oh, man.
Going against Phil Atwell.
So coming up, the next matchups we're going to see, we got Adrian Larone, Mikey Hatterer.
Oh, wow. What a camera angle.
I don't need a close-up of Hatterer right there, okay? Let's just pack up on that one.
Pack? What? What'd you say?
Yeah.
Pack up? Okay, pack up, yeah.
I'm glad there was not a fisheye lens on that one. All right, coming back, we're going to put him in that G-string. We're going to stack and rack these guys. More racing coming up right after this.
People have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
$30,000 trails in your pocket. Crankworx. Download the free app now.
Crankworx Rotorua, brought to you by SRAM. Doing it for a long time here, holding it down in a big way, as they always do at Crankworx here in Rotorua. And also brought to you by Whistler Mountain Bike Park. If you haven't ever made the trek to come out there to Whistler, please join us in August for Crankworx, the final installment of Crankworx 2016. That's going to be at Whistler, and take some runs in the mountain bike park while you're out there. That's Whistler. All right, back to the action here. Our next matchup, the second one between Adrian Larone and Mikey Hatterer going up. And I can't wait. You got to see what Mikey is wearing.
You see those flags waving in the wind. You see some riders grabbing sweatshirts. And then we saw that close-up of Mikey Hatterer. And now you know it's obviously cold here.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go. Back to racing. It's hard to keep a straight face here. Adrian Larone's going to be tough to beat, even with the G-string.
Oh, Adrian Larone, you do not want to be beat by a man in a Speedo.
Oh.
Mikey, were you in the pool?
Yeah, Mikey coming straight from the pool right there. Adrian Larone, he's going to move on in this one, but thank you, Mikey, for bringing some fun to the show out here.
Mikey
Did
Hatterer.
he just rub his belly hair? No.
Always an entertainer, wearing a spacesuit last heat, and now wearing close to nothing this time.
How do you follow it? You see Louis Rebaud kind of laughing like, I don't even follow that act right there. Louis Rebaud, James Walter, here we go. Louis won winner of run number 1 by .03. So a pretty tight one on this one. And not talking about that Speedo that Mike is wearing.
Well, this is the battle of the facial hair here. James Walter versus Louis Rabot. Such a tight gap on their last score here. Only .03, I believe it was. And James crossing the finish line first again, so he'll be a shoo-in to the next round. That'll be it for Louis Rabot. We'll see him tomorrow night during slopestyle.
So Louis Rabot has been sent packing. He is done. James Walter will be the one moving on. So another Kiwi advancing on. Is that the Vulcan or the Vulcan sign from Spock that he was throwing out there?
Is it Nanu from Mork and Mindy? I don't know.
Sean McCarroll and Matthew 2 now. Matty 2. I'm not.
I'm not. There we go. The gate drops. Sean McCarroll, a name you may remember if you've been following downhill for over a decade, out here at a Crankworx festival. Well, Sean McCarroll not able to cross the finish line first, but great to see him out here. Matthew 2 will advance. Oh, I'm sorry, Sean McCarroll advancing.
Yeah, Sean McCarroll's going to be the one cruising on out of that one. And now we get our next matchup here going. And there's our big Swede there on the left, Martin Soderstrom. Berthier, Jeremy Berthier, he's going to be on the right. There's a look at Berthier right there, the French rider. And then Martin Soderstrom right there. He's the winner by 1.03. So Jeremy's got his work cut out for him trying to knock Martin out.
Well, Martin Soderstrom, usually pretty unstoppable in a pump track race. He had some issues last night during speed and style, lost the front tire and belly checked some rollers, but Jeremy Berthier definitely battling, but Martin knows he has that 1.03 max differential and basically knows that if he crosses the finish line even or a little bit ahead, he's very safe, kind of conserve some energy for the next round. Martin Soderstrom moving on.
And now Taylander, we got Anton Taylander coming up, Rupert Chapman, these guys going head to head. And Taylander, of course, the winner, run number 1. And that was by, full second, 1.03. So Chapman is going to try and make up the difference here on their second matchup.
Well, good to see Rupert Chapman unscathed after that body check right through the finish line. His head crossing the finish line first. He's hanging tight with Anton Thielander right now, but Anton, another rider who has that max differential. So just got to keep it smooth there when you have that 1.03 max differential against your competitor.
Hold on. Woo! I survived.
Yeah, so that's going to mean that Anton's going to be moving on to the next round, and you could say goodbye right there to Rupert Chapman. He is done.
So 2 Swedes through. Let's see how Max Fredriksson can do if he can make it into the next round as well and join his buddies.
So as we get our next guys going, as you were talking about, Tim Ferguson and Max Fredriksson. Ferguson on the right and Max on the left. He's the winner of run number 1. You can see the difference by 0.62.
Well, Max Fredriksson getting a good start. Basically just has to keep her smooth right now because he's got about 0.6 seconds on Tim Ferguson. And barring any over the bars mishaps, he'll make it through the next round. Yep, there you go. He's crossing the finish line first. That'll be a night for Tim Ferguson.
But now Max has to face fellow countryman Anton when they go at it again, when they go at it for the first time.
Oh man, we're gonna start losing Swedes here finally.
And now we got Keegan Wright and Sick Mick Hanna. 0.39 the difference that Mick has got to make up right here. Keegan Wright, he's a tough cookie to beat. I'll tell you what, he's a solid cat when it comes to this competition. Here we go, back at it now.
Well, yeah, Keegan Wright is no joke. We saw him last year do really well. And Sick Mick Hanna, a legend in the sport, downhill racer, 4-cross racer. Well, Mick has a disadvantage, but he's going to cross the finish line first. Will it be enough?
So
let's do some math.
He takes the win
But yeah, just not enough to make up the difference. So that's going to do it. And Keegan Wright's going to be advancing on. Mick took the win on that one, but he couldn't make up the difference.
A game of inches and syllables out here, only .03 separating those two. This is going to be the last race of this round. Matt Walker, our Enduro winner from a couple days ago, going against Andrew Hickey. Look at that beard. You know it's Andrew Hickey when you see the ZZ Top style in the gate.
And Matt Walker, he's got a 1 second advantage, 1.03 over Hickey.
Hickey throwing the hang loose. Well, Matt Walker's got to keep it smooth. Anything can happen in a pump track race. You can lose your front end. You can go off course, miss a gate. The last couple rollers of the course have gates on them. You see those things sticking out of the ground. If you go on the wrong side of those things, it's an automatic DQ. So in a situation like this, where Matt Walker has a max differential over Andrew Hickey, you got to make sure you don't have any mistakes. So Matt Walker doing what he needs to do and moving on to the next round.
Well, that's gonna do it for Hickey right there. He's gonna have to go to the Tube Snake Boogie somewhere else. He is all done. All right. So everyone's been smiling, having a good time, but things are now getting pretty serious when it comes down to it. We started out, now we are down to our top 16 guys coming at you. Don't forget the ladies are still coming up as well. Welcome to day number 3 here, Crankworx Rotorua. More coming up. Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox.
Never seen a place like this. You're swimming in the money that you kiss. So you never grow up. Tell me now. Never seen a place like this. You're swimming in the money like you never grow up.
Our people have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
And Crankworx Rotorua brought to you by Skyline Bike Park, New Zealand's only year-round gondola uplift-assisted mountain bike park right here in Rotorua, and also brought to you by New Zealand. Tell you what, New Zealand government works in partnership with the event sector to support New Zealand's growing reputation as an attractive destination for major events of global significance. All right, now we got a little something special for you going on. We talk about all the, the pros out here, but there's the future of riding too, Cam, right?
Well, Rotorua, so much good riding, and it doesn't just stop at the trails. There's a world-class BMX track here as well, and it's producing some world-class talent. Here we've got Lockie Stevens McNabb, who's world #2 in the 12-year-old girl category. World #2, not just New Zealand #2. And her brother, Wyatt Stevens McNabb, world #2 in the 10-year-old boy category. So 2 #2 in the world here right now, going to show us a little exhibition on this pump track.
And so this is the future we talk about. They're doing on their BMX bikes. So watch how fast these kids are too.
Well, this is the best way to cut your teeth as a young kid trying to learn some bike skills, racing BMX.
Oh, look at these guys.
Oh, man. Brother and sister, obviously a family affair going to those BMX races, and they've obviously put their time in. They've got really supportive parents to be able to accomplish world #2 right here out of Rotorua, New Zealand. Let's hear it for Lockie Stevens McNabb and Wyatt Stevens McNabb.
And we're not done yet. We're going to stack and rack a couple more kids up there, aren't we?
Yeah, here we go. We've got Sasha Ernest. She's world #2 in the 10-year-old girl category, and Jake Ernest, her brother, who's world #5 in the 11-year-old boy category. There we go. That's Sasha flashing a smile to the camera.
That's awesome.
Sasha on the left-hand side of your screen and Jake on the right. So Sasha, she's only 10 years old. She's on the left side of your screen right now. And look at the bike skills that these kids have at such a young age. Look at Jake pumping those rollers. Oh, it looks like he's got a little bit of an edge on his sister here, crossing the finish line first. That's Jake, number 5 in the world in the 11-year-old boy category. Not 1, not 2, but 4 world-class kid BMX racers right here out of Rotorua, New Zealand.
I'll tell you what, the future is very bright for racing out of here in New Zealand. These kids showing you what they're capable of, and they look pretty fast. It looks like they might have a chance to compete with some of the big dudes out there.
Well, yeah, they got a chance, and they got the opportunity with Rotorua right here in their backyard, having Crankworx festivals every year.
So now we're showing the matchups now that we've narrowed it down to our top 16. You got Slavic, who was the winner last night, going against Couscous. So those guys are going to match up. Tommy G, Thomas Lemoyne, Barry Nobles, Connor in there, Phillips Will. We're going to see him going against that Connor kid. How do you say his last name? You did it pretty good.
Well, he said Mahuika, and there's still a chance I'm saying it wrong, but it sounded like he said Mahuika.
Mahuika. And Adrian Larone, James Walter, Matty 2, Martin Soderstrom. Those guys are all going at it. I'll tell you what, an exciting time here indeed. And here we are up at the booth. Cam McCall, Brad J. We're the ones calling it up here. And on a cold night here in Rotorua. But
what do you mean? I'm not cold.
What are you doing? Are you shaking a little bit?
I'm not cold. Are you cold?
Can someone bring a jacket up to this guy? I think he's chilling right now. He's literally chilling.
We're just chilling.
You'd like to be down there riding too as well, right?
That's a good way to stay warm, that's for sure.
That's what the riders are doing right there. We're also going to see the ladies. They're coming up for you in a little bit. But we talk about this being, you know, a 3-stop world tour. It's so important to do good at every event. You don't got to win every event to have a chance to be king of Crankworx, but you got to finish pretty solid to try and get that big title.
It's a long season. Anything can happen, so every point counts. You saw the king of Crankworx points only being separated by 10 points between first and second, and there's a lot of money on the line there, so every heat counts.
All right, we keep talking about the amazing trails, and I would love for you to tell me about one more amazing trail. So if you could, help me out and break down another amazing trail for us, Cam, can you?
Well, we talk about all these amazing trails you find out here in Rotorua, and let's take a look at another one. This one's called Rainbow Mountain Trail, just a short drive out of the town of Rotorua, and it has that amazing volcanic atmosphere with those geothermal hot springs, a little bit different terrain than you'd find here at Skyline Rotorua. More rocks, more roots. Great place to go take your buddies for a rip.
I'll tell you what, it's lush too as well. You look at the geothermal springs you're talking about, but this looks lush all the way through.
And kind of just a great day plan. You get out there, you do a lap with your friends, and then you can kind of plop into those hot springs. Kerosene Creek is the one at the bottom. Grab a couple beers. That's a good afternoon if you ask me.
Man, that's a great recipe right there, Cam.
So yeah, like we said, more roots, more rocks than you see at Skyline Rotorua, and plenty of little obstacles alongside the trail. You know, if you want to just flick the back end out, throw some roofs, bonk the trees, just a playful riding area out here in Rotorua.
Oh, you got to love it, man. Just there's so many trails, just highlighting some of them for you as we get into the event here. Thomas Slavic now, he's going head-to-head. Fabian Couscous right there, Cusini. They're matching up for the first time. Remember, Thomas the winner last night. Montreal, dual speed and style. Can he continue his winning ways? We're going to find out right now.
Well, he was just destroying the competition last night, not even doing any tricks. And this is just a straight-up race. Last night, Couscous looks like he's going to cross the finish line first. Putting a .07 on Thomas Slavic.
So the winner, run number 1, that's only .07 as you bring up, Cam. So that's a pretty close one.
Yeah, you expected to see these guys close. 2 racers by trade. And let's take a look back at this. Wow, look at that. They both entered that back berm at identically the same time. They crossed the finish line with such a small margin. So once they switch courses, it'll be a battle to the finish to see who moves on.
Yeah, anything that's like, you know, from .10 and down, that's going to be pretty darn close. Oh, the Thomas Mats at Tommy G, Thomas Lemoyne now. These guys going head-to-head. Belgian rider versus the French rider here. Their first matchup here in our top 16. Here we go.
Well, the slope style specialist, not accustomed to head-to-head racing. Usually you're just kind of riding your own course, doing tricks, but right now, gonna have to dip into the race experience here. And there we go. Thomas Lemoyne crossing the finish line first, putting the max differential on Janon.
And you know Lemoyne has got what it takes. I mean, he was third in New Zealand. He was on the podium last year. He got beat by Adrien Lerone in France, but he ended up a third out there. And even in Whistler, he was fourth. So Lemoyne, you almost expect to be on the podium at some point. Barry Nobles now, Connor McFarlane, they're going head to head. USA versus New Zealand here.
Well, Connor McFarlane out of New Zealand, such a well-rounded rider. Big mountain guy, slope style guy. He's got tons of speed. We saw him at the speed and style. And making it through to this round, going against Barry Nobles, going to be a tough matchup for him.
Well, Nobles has won before. He won it in Whistler before, so he knows how to win this thing.
And Nobles coming from that BMX background, he's got the gate snap, so getting out to a little bit of a lead, but Connor McFarlane really hanging tough. He's only back by just about a bike length, and it's only going to be a 0.42 on Connor McFarlane, so that's manageable for him once they switch sides.
But nevertheless, Barry Nobles will have the advantage over Connor when they go at it again. And if you're Connor and you're able to upset him, then you know that could change things once again. But Barry Nobles has done it before. He knows what it takes to get through these rounds and to get up on that podium, that's for sure.
It looks freezing out there. You see those guys finish their run going, I wish we could just keep riding so we didn't have to get cold.
But you know what? Doesn't matter. Whatever the weather is, the crowd will show up in drones out here. And they've been doing that ever since we came out here last year. Record-breaking crowds always represent out here in Rotorua, and they do an amazing job showing up and blowing up and representing all these riders.
Well, I know it's not too cold to put your arms up in the air and do a wave, so we're going to see if we can get that going eventually.
Maybe we can put Hannah in there to make her get that started, right?
We might have to send her down there, little satellite assistant, to get that thing going.
And here we go, Phil Atwill, and now we get to see Connor actually.
This is what I'm talking about here.
The Rotorua local versus Phil Atwill from the UK. Our first time to see Connor go up a head-to-head against someone because he had to buy the first round. Here we go.
All right, Connor Mahuika, this is the first time he's actually had to go against another rider. He had a buy round coming into this thing. Well, he enters the final straightaway first, manually through those rollers. That's the style that everybody was talking about during practice and seating, going, I don't know who this kid is, but you got to keep an eye on him. And now we've learned it's Connor Mahuika from Rotorua, from the Pegasus Trails, putting a 0.74 on Phil Atwill.
Yeah.
He's loving the shout out to his local trails.
Oh man, he is going to be a tough one. You know, didn't know anything about him, but he's coming up. He's going to make a name for himself, and that's what you do. That's what's great about Crankworx. So many people come out and compete in it and make a name for themselves by doing good in an event, and this could be the case for him today.
Yeah, he's looking consistent. You know, it all starts here in his backyard, but who knows? We may see him do well. You may see him at other events in the future on this Crankworx World Tour.
Oh, Adrien Lerone, we all remember the controversy last night over the start. Well, he is definitely making sure he doesn't jump that gate here tonight. James Walter now going against him. First guys they've matched up together. Adrien Lerone's probably happy that James Walter's wearing all of his clothes since his last competitor that he had to go against, and Mikey Hatterer.
That could have been a little distracting. A bright, fluorescent Speedo.
That's what it was, right? I kept calling it a G-string.
Well, thank goodness it wasn't a G-string. Well, here we go. We got Adrien Lerone drop in against James Walter. Who's going to be into this final straightaway first? They're neck and neck. It's going to come down to the wire. Oh. Wow, look at that gate. 0.32. Adrien Lerone over James Walter.
Well, and it's Adrien Lerone, first in France in 2015, first in Whistler in 2015. So 2 wins last year out of 3 of the Pump Track Challenge. So Adrien Lerone, he means business when he comes out here and gets it done. And he got the clean start. That's important.
Got the clean start. He learned that lesson last night. You got to wait for that gate to drop before you start racing. So playing by the rules tonight.
we'll take a look at our brackets, how the matchup. You see the green dot. That means they have the advantage going into their second matchup. That's Couscous with the advantage over Slavic. And then you got Thomas Lemoyne with the advantage over Tommy G. Nobles over Connor. Connor, the local boy, over Phil Atwill. Then Adrian Larone, he's got the advantage over Walter. And then the rest of the guys we have yet to see how they match up. Matty 2 and Martin Soderstrom going at it. Anton Thelander and then Max Fredriksson, the two Swedes going head-to-head.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Only one Swede's going to make it out of that one, so going to start chipping away. They're looking super strong now, but if you get them in a heat together, only one's going to make it through,
yeah,
of course.
That's how it works. That is how it works. So it looks like we're going to see Martin Soderstrom going by himself.
He says, all right, well, that works for me.
All right, so Martin, that means he will get to move on, but he's going to still have to run it no matter what.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the riding style of Martin Soderstrom. Being such a tall guy with those long legs, look at him throwing a one-footer off to start. Okay, well, I was going to have you enjoy his manualing skills, but it looks like he's joking around and taking a goon run. But there it is. Thank you, Martin. That's what I was looking for. Manualing that entire. That is where something dangerous would happen when you're just goofing around.
You do not want to do that, Martin.
Oh, man.
You do not want to do that by yourself.
Martin, one of the best manualers in the business. And for those of you who don't know what a manual is, it's when you're only riding on that back wheel.
Right there.
And look at that. He rode that whole last straightaway on one wheel.
And
this time, he threw his front wheel in the back of that roller, almost flipped over the bars. So he's goofing around, but luckily didn't hit the ground.
Casing a roller with your front tire, that's not a good idea right there. Yeah, he's happy.
Well, he's a slopestyle rider. He's a showman, so almost taking himself out just to give the crowd a good show. Ooh, now looks like we're going to see Max Fredriksson versus Anton Thelander.
Well, and you know one thing, Cam, a Swede will be moving on here.
Oh,
well, not in
man.
this one, but out of their matchups on both their races.
Goodness gracious. Well, Martin Soderstrom, we just saw him. He was demonstrating his back wheel prowess. But these guys basically learning from Martin back in Sweden. And these are two of the best riders in the world when it comes to slope style.
There are so many Swedes out here. They're like multiplying like rabbits out here.
And it sounds like there's another one on the way, too. Another one that's been training under these three top dogs. All right, they're off. Looks like Max Fredriksson off to a slight lead. He's going to make it to that berm first and enter the final straightaway. He's got to keep it smooth. Right now, Anton Thelander needs to try to narrow that gap. That gap will be a 0.75. Max Fredriksson over Anton Thelander. So and they've got their own secret handshakes. Wow, they're good buddies. You guys have a tree fort too?
Secret handshake. I like that. And now Keegan Wright and Matt Walker. A couple of Kiwis going head-to-head here on this one.
Well, Keegan Wright knocking Mick Hanna out. So this isn't going to be an easy heat either. Matt Walker winning the Enduro here a couple days ago. But Keegan Wright looking strong.
And here we go. Off to the races here. Their first matchup tonight.
Oh, the gate has dropped. It looks like Matt Walker's going to enter that final straightaway first, keeping things smooth across the finish line. A gap of 0.85 over Keegan Wright. A bit of a chunky gap, but like we say, anything can happen.
No, exactly. That's, you know, when you're looking at what Matt Walker has done, this is such an important, the farther along that Matt Walker can advance gives him a good opportunity because he's already won the Giant Toa Enduro, so he's already done his thing in one race. Can he get up there and get on the podium?
Points. All
right, so I think it's time to check in with Hannah again. We haven't talked to her in a little bit. Let's see how she's doing. Let's send it down to her right now. Hannah, what's going on?
Hey, thanks very much, guys. Yeah, I'm getting lonely down here. You're leaving me all by myself. But I heard you guys chatting about the King of Crankworx race. And a guy that's been on the radar a lot at Crankworx Rotorua is Matt Walker, who you just saw won in his first heat against Keegan Wright. Now, I had a chance to catch up with him. He won the Giant Toe Enduro on Wednesday. He was competing in the dual speed and style yesterday, and now he's here at Pump Track. So I asked him, is he going for the King of Crankworx title? And he said yes. So we'll have to see him in the rest of the Crankworx World Tour at France and Whistler.
Well, thanks, Hannah. He's off to a great start, already having a win under his belt, but you got to make it out of these brackets in order to get more points. So we're chipping them away here. Only one survives out of each heat. This next heat, we're going to be looking at 2 racers, Fabian Kusini and Thomas Slavik out of the Czech Republic.
And now, remember, Fabian, he's got the advantage over Slavik, but not by much. That's just a .07. Slavik is very fast. He proved it last night.
Look at the focus on the face of Kusini, getting off to a great start. But Slavik also off to a great start. Very neck and neck. Slavik with the slight advantage coming into the final straightaway. He'll cross the finish line first. Wow. Slavik crossing first.
Oh, and that means he is going to advance on, so that's going to take care of Kuskus. He is done for the day.
There we go. Making it through another round, just like we saw him do all day yesterday in the speed and style.
We keep talking about it, taking a win last night, coming out here and taking a win today. How special would that be? And that put him large and in charge. Here's Thomas Lemoyne and Tommy G now. France versus Belgium, the winner, Lemoyne, which, you know, the guy's always a threat to get on the podium in a pump track challenge for sure. Here we go.
Well, Janan, he's got to make up that maximum differential, 1.03 seconds.
Oh, it doesn't look, it looks too.
Well, he's racing.
Look at that.
He's racing strong, but he needs to win by such a huge gap that it's not going to be enough this time. Thomas Janan, go get some rest, buddy, because you got a big day tomorrow, slopestyle finals.
So it's probably one of those situations where maybe you're relieved that it's done, right? Because now you can move on. But look at this. Thomas Slavik is going to go against Thomas Lemoyne, and they matched up, remember, last night. So those two are going to hit it again.
Well, he just beat a Tomas. Let's see if he can beat another Tomas.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Barry Nobles now. He is on the right. He has changed positions. Connor McFarlane, he is now on the left. .42 is what Connor's got to make up.
Very impressive that Connor McFarlane was able to stay .42 behind Barry Nobles. This guy has such a well-rounded skill set at home on a hardtail and a downhill bike, all the same. Doing flat rock backflips on his downhill bike. Only a couple riders in the world doing that. Barry Nobles getting into that final straightaway first, and he's going to cruise through the finish line easily. Unfortunately, putting Connor McFarlane into the grandstands tonight, but great to see him out here.
So Nobles will be going on. He's going to face the winner of our next matchup. I'll tell you what, I'm excited about that next one for sure. So Barry Nobles advancing on. He'll face the winner of Phil Otwell and Connor. Man, I cannot do his last name. Can you help me on that?
Phil Connor M. Let's go with that.
All right.
Mahuika, I think.
Mahuika. So here we go. Mahuika, you can see him. He is going to be on the left now. He switches positions. Phil Otwell will take over to the right side now. But .74 is what Phil's got to do, and this kid is strong.
Look at that. He's got that little sign he's throwing every run. That must be the Pegasus Trails sign.
Is that what it, I'm thinking it is too. Okay. Here we go.
There we go. Connor Mahuika focused. He's got an advantage over Phil Atwell right here. He's just got to keep it smooth, stay calm.
Oh, this one's
Connor
close.
Mahuika.
Oh,
wow. He's on fire right now, this kid.
The afterburners from Connor.
Wow,
Nice.
that's why people are buzzing talking about this kid. He'll be moving on.
He's the man to watch.
There we go. Phil Atwell always gives us a little soundbite. You guys have a secret handshake too?
Secret handshake? Oh, it's a bit. No.
And
Not good to show in public.
all right, so Martin Soderstrom, we saw him take that bye run. So actually they re-rack him, so that didn't count. So he now has his competitor that he is going to be going up against. So that's Matty 2 right there, and Martin now.
Wow, Martin Soderstrom also using that similar start technique as we saw Kyle Strait using the 1 foot down push off. Martin Soderstrom, wow, making it to the berm first, but Matt 2 carrying a lot of speed and narrowing the gap.
So that's going to give him the advantage right there because that's considered their first matchup because that bye round that he took.
That's fun. I've been racing alone. Yeah.
It's good to have somebody next to me on the other course.
Yeah.
There you go. It's going to be a .31 Martin Soderstrom over Matthew 2.
So those guys will. So getting back in order, there's Adrian Larone on the right. He's going against James Walter It's a .32 differential between those dudes right there. Adrian Lerone, all business here.
Well, I really like James Walter's style. Wow, unfortunately getting hung up in the gate a little bit there. James Walter, shoot, this one's not gonna work out for him. Adrian Lerone kind of off to the races by himself right now. James Walter gonna do it for the crowd right here, manually in the rollers. Let's hear it for James Walter.
So Adrian Lerone will move on to the next round. That's gonna do it for James Walter. He is done. Adrian Lerone, the calm, cool, collect. Lerone knows what to do here. And on the podium so much.
Look at that, just shivering.
It's not.
Yeah, easy for you to say. You're wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the brackets there, Brad.
Well, now you got Nobles. I love this Connor, the local kid, against Barry Nobles, because look.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Nobles has won it before, so
man.
this really is going to show how fast this Connor kid is if he can do something against Barry Nobles here. And then you got the Thomas matchup. They matched up yesterday, and Slavic got the best of Lemoyne. So you know Lemoyne wants redemption on that matchup here tonight. And then Adrian Lerone, he's going to face the winner of Martin and Matty 2 after they match up again. And then we still got Max Frederickson. He's got the lead. So we'll take it back to our next, take our focus back up top, the start area here. Your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. Hey, I think they were trying the wave. That was nice. All right.
Ooh, we're getting closer. Groundswell is building.
Soderstrom now on the left. And you got Matty 2 on the right. Here we go. .31. 2 has got to make up. Can he do it here?
Martin Soderstrom has minimal cushion here. 0.21, 0.31 is something like that. Not that big of a cushion. So he's got to stay close. But Matthew 2 really staying close to him, but not by enough. Martin Soderstrom crossing the finish line first. He already had the advantage, so he will be moving on.
And the thing is, how's this? So Soderstrom's going to go against Adrian Lerone on their matchup. So that's going to be a doozy.
Oh, this is getting heated up. We're going to have to get the wave rolling here pretty soon. So taking a look back at the replay, Martin Soderstrom having a little bit less exit speed out of that back burn. Matthew 2 almost doing it on the final straightaway, just not quite enough. Look at that back wheel. We were talking about how Martin Soderstrom has that manual technique down pat.
And so he's going to really get a chance to put things together when he faces the Pump Track Crusher in Adrian Lerone, who's going to be coming up for you. Well, we'll get our riders stacked and racked and send them back up to the gates. More coming up. Don't go away. It's your Pump Track Challenge, and it's presented by RockShox.
People have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
And Crankworx Rotorua brought to you by Skyline Rotorua. Skyline Rotorua Gravity Park has trails and passes to suit every rider. And also brought to you by New Zealand. New Zealand government works in partnership with the event sector to support New Zealand's growing reputation as an attractive destination for all major events of global significance. Big ups to New Zealand and, of course, to Skyline. Brad J, Cam McCall, welcome you all back. Rock Shocks, of course, your Pump Track Challenge presented by Rock Shocks here going on for you. We've been narrowing the field down, seeing some surprises and seeing not such surprises, but seeing some rookies coming out and representing. You were talking about a little bit that Connor, Mahuika, who we're going to be seeing going against Barry Nobles when they match up together.
That's going to be exciting.
Qualified 4th and 5. Max Fredriksson out, the Swede, going against another Swede, Anton Nylander, and .75 is what Anton's got to make up on Max. Here we go.
All right, well, Max Fredriksson's going to have to keep it smooth right now. He's got a .75 over Anton Nylander, and he's ahead into the final straightaway. Make sure you get through those gates cleanly through the finish line first as Max Fredriksson, so he will be the winner of that round. Anton Nylander, go get some rest, buddy. It's time for slopestyle tomorrow.
So yeah, see, it's one of those things too. You know, competing in so many different events, you want to keep moving on, but if you get sent packing and you got a big day tomorrow, hey, go get some rest and be prepared for the big day. Slopestyle Saturday.
It's just really cool to see them doing this pump track race the night before slopestyle.
Well, there you go. Speaking of slopestyle Saturday, in memory of Magaza, that will be going on. There's your times for it, 3 p.m. start time here in Rotorua. And for more, you can just check out crankworx.com/Rotorua. Here we go, Matt Walker, Keegan Wright now. New Zealand versus New Zealand, .85. That's the difference. That's what Keegan Wright has got to make up. Matt Walker, the winner, the Giant Toa Enduro, so he's already done it once. Here we go.
Well, Keegan Wright, we saw him last year. We know he has what it takes. .8 is a bit of a gap, but he's got the skill to pull it off. Unfortunately, not going to happen this time around. Matt Walker making it through the finish line first, already had the advantage. He moves on to the next round. Look at the crowd's going crazy.
So Matt Walker will be facing Max Fredriksson. Those two will match up later on. And that's going to do it for Keegan Wright. He is done for the day.
Look at those dual wrist braces.
Well, if you're wondering what are our matchups, you're probably going, okay, what's the matchups for the next round? Boom, there you go. I'm going to take care of you on that. That's our matchups with Thomas Slavic and Thomas Lemoyne. I love the redemption between those two guys. And Barry Nobles, this is the one that you and I are pretty stoked on.
This is my favorite one right here. Barry Nobles versus Connor Mahuika.
And then Adrian Lerone, another great matchup. Look, Adrian Lerone going against Martin Soderstrom. That's going to be huge. And Max Fredriksson and Matt Walker. That's how it's going to stack out right there. But one thing we have not done yet, we've not put the ladies up in the mix, have we, Cam?
It's time to do that. Why don't we get that going?
All right, well, let's take a look at the ladies' bracket. This is how this is going to shape up. Annika Biertin going against Casey Brown. Then you got Ronja Hill right against Jonah Johnson, Tracy Hanna, Alana Colum. They're going to be going head-to-head. And then Jill Kintner, Emily Seigenthaler are going to be doing their thing. So that's the matchup for the ladies. And Biertin and Casey Brown will get ready to go. They're going to be our first two competitors to do things for the ladies. And there's that big crowd. Here you go. That's almost a kind of a wave. You guys,
all right, guys, it's time.
Start on one side and move to the other. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start the wave. Go.
All right, Surf Report says big waves coming into Rotorua.
It'll help you stay warm. Trust me on this one.
Okay, let's just give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. All right, start over on the looker's right side of the course. There we go. 3, 2, 1, go for a wave.
They're like, which way do we go?
Yeah, there we go. It was a little half effort to begin with, but
someone's got to take the lead here, Cam.
It was decent. Not as good as last year, but decent. Maybe we'll come back to that later.
All right, so now we're getting the ladies ready to go here for you. That was an E for effort.
All right, so looking at how things are shaping up, we looked at those brackets, and we've got Annika Biertin and Jill Kintner on opposite ends of that bracket on a collision course. But before Annika Biertin's able to look ahead, she's got to get past Casey Brown right here. That's no easy task. Casey on her new hardtail. She's been going strong out here all week, riding the whip off, riding speed and style, going for points for that Queen of Crankworx. Annika Biertin, the defending champion of that Queen of Crankworx title. She wants to do it again.
It's $25,000. Of course she wants to do it. Here we go. The first matchup of the night for the ladies.
Wow, Casey Brown hanging tough right here. She's getting to the berm first, but will she have the exit speed? She loses a little ground onto the final straightaway. And Annika will cross the finish line first, but not by a ton. .76. Casey Brown with a manageable margin.
Yeah, 0.76. She can make that up, but I'll tell you what, her team's not ready to relinquish that crown for the queen of Crankworx, that's for sure. Giving a wave to the crowd as we stack and rack the next two ladies and send them on up there and get started. Ronja Hill-Wright and Jonah Johnson are going to do the battle now. Australia versus Denmark here in our next matchup for the ladies. And with the ladies, of course, we start with just the Elite 8 and work our way down to the small and big final.
All right, the gate drops for Ronja and Jonna, and it looks like Jonna Johnson getting to that back berm first, entering the final straightaway in the lead. And she's going to cross the finish line first, but what will the margin be? The maximum differential of 1.03 on Ronja Hill-Wright. We'll flip sides and see how it goes on the other course for each of these ladies.
That's a tough makeup right there when you look at that. When you got a full second on it, 1.03, the timing on that one.
But all it takes is the front tire swapping out, and that 1.3 can go away in a heartbeat.
You know, we're used to seeing Tracy Hanna next up in downhill, and she's out here doing her thing on pump track. Tracy Hanna on a column now. Australia versus New Zealand here.
Well, Tracy Hanna looking to hold it down for the family with her brother Mick already out, having a bobble in the start gate, getting the weight over the front and recovering nicely. But she's definitely going to have to pump hard in order to catch up to Alana Collum right now. The gap will be 0.44. If Tracy can smooth out that mistake in the next round, she can make that 0.44 up.
Well, you see right there, Alana's going to take the winner run number 1, but our next matchup, let's talk about this one. Jill Kittner, Emily Seigenthaler. I mean, we saw drama with the matchup with Kittner last year. She was trying to come away with the gold medal. She was trying to make a bid for the Queen of Crankworx, and there was a little drama in that start. She got hung up, and it cost her the race, so you know that's on her mind. She wants to take care of business here today, Cam.
Yeah, that was a bummer to see, honestly, last year. We wanted to see a head-to-head battle between Jill and Annika. But we may see it again, but Jill's got to get through this round in order to make it to the final against Annika, where we could see that rematch.
Well, you know, and Jill Kittner has won pump track challenges more than any other lady out here. And look at the lead she's extended. Jill Kittner, make no mistake about it, Cam, she means business here tonight.
Looking so strong, putting that max differential on Emily Seigenthaler.
Yeah, you look at that, the 1.03, that's the max right there. And so now I think we're going to go back to the guys here and get them back in order. And I mean, I tell you what, we got some heavy matchups here. We'll take a look at what we're looking at here for the brackets wise for the dudes. And here we go. This is our matchups. And you look at these all the way down through, and every single one of these could be a final right there.
It's true. Look at that. Slavic and Lemoyne, you're talking about that being a rematch.
Well, you know, Lemoyne, you know, he didn't like being knocked out last night by Slavic, who ended up taking the win. So right now, these two are going to do battle, and you know Lemoyne wants this more than anything right now.
It's not often you get your opportunity for redemption just a day later. So Lemoyne, let's see if he can capitalize.
So Slavic versus Lemoyne, Czech Republic versus France.
Wow, Slavic getting that gate snap, but wow, Lemoyne almost looks to be making up ground in the rollers, entering the back berm first as Lemoyne having great exit speed into the final straightaway. Lemoyne will cross the finish line first over Thomas Slavic.
Yeah.
He just put a little bit extra juice on there, knowing that he did not want to get beat by the same guy 2 days in a row.
Yeah, look at this. Lemoyne coming out swinging on that one.
What is the advance, you know?
0.55 the difference that Lemoyne is going to have.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Connor getting the crowd going. He's going up against Barry Noble. So Connor Mahuika out of Rotorua, New Zealand. Seeding run put him in 4th place. Barry Noble's seeding run put him in 5th place. So Connor obviously has what it takes. He's got to stay smooth.
Rookie versus the vet. Here we go.
Well, Barry Noble's almost going too soon, but catching himself. Connor Mahuika looking so strong, getting to that back berm first. Great exit speed into the final straightaway. The crowd goes wild. He's catching the final straightaway. Crosses the finish line first over Barry Nobles by 0.42 of a second.
Oh my goodness, the young gun.
The crowd is going nuts for their local boy right now.
Oh my gosh, what a matchup.
We got to go back and take a look at that replay. Connor Mahuika, the Pegasus Trails local out of Rotorua, New Zealand, looking so strong. I mean, Barry Nobles has the gate start, but so does Connor Mahuika. Mahuika just gaining speed on every section of the course, just expanding his lead and then gapping those jumps on the final straightaway. Haven't seen anybody actually take that line on the last straight, so it's showing that he's got some tricks up his sleeve still.
You know, and going against a veteran, coming out here, you're a rookie out here to Crankworx. You don't know how you stack up against the rest of the field till they put you in with a big-time pro, and all of a sudden you come out ahead on that first matchup. Next up, Adrian Lerone, Martin Soderstrom. This is one for the ages right here. The first time these guys have matched up. France versus Sweden here. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen here?
This could 100% be a final. Martin Soderstrom versus Adrian Lerone. Martin Soderstrom.
Oh.
Wow, it's hard to tell who had the advantage there. They were neck and neck, but Adrian Lerone just inching forward on the final straightaway. A small gap, 0.28 is what Martin Soderstrom will have to make up when they switch sides.
I call him the pump track killer for a reason. Adrian Lerone knows how to get her done. 2 first-place finishes last year. Didn't do it here in New Zealand. Used got the win last year, but Adrian Lerone is coming out and he really wants to do battle here and do things in a big way. You know, comes away, and you know what? You also look at Adrian Lerone last night, 3rd place, so that's a podium for him last night. A podium out here, maybe a win. That puts him large and in charge towards that King of Crankworx.
Well, he's looking to do it again. He was only 10 points back for King of Crankworx last year, but look at that exit speed on the back berm, carrying it all the way through the final straightaway. That's what it's all about. You know, once we get through the brackets here and we're taking a look at what strategies are working, a crux point of this course is really that back berm, giving you your exit speed toward the final straightaway.
So Adrian Lerone takes the advantage. They will get stacked and racked, and they'll do it again. Next up, Matt Walker, Max Fredrickson.
So we got enduro racer Matt Walker against slope style rider Max Fredrickson. We're on the pump track, the great equalizer. What will the story be?
Well, the story right now with Matt Walker, he's already got 1 win from the Giant Toa Enduro. Can he get close to that again here tonight?
Matt Walker with a great snap, making it to the back berm first, taking great exit speed. But Max Fredrickson, to be honest, he's right on his tail. It's only going to be a 0.27.
But nevertheless, that's going to be an advantage for Walker, and Max is going to be the guy who is going to have to try and make up that difference right there.
Look at this.
And now we go back to the ladies here to do it again for their second matchups. Taking a look at how the guys are stacking up. The green dot right there. Do you see the green dot? Those are the guys who have the advantage as they go into their second matchup. And the rookie right there, Connor, taking the advantage. Tomas Lemoyne, redemption over Slavic. He's got 1 win on him. Can he do it again? And now we take a look at the ladies. Annika Bierton, the queen from last year. She's doing what she knows how to do. She's got the lead over Casey Brown after their first matchup. Ranja and Jana. Jana's got the lead there. And then Tracy Hanna needs to try and make up the difference too as well. So we get our next 2 matchups. Annika Bierton and Casey Brown. Casey Brown to switch sides now.
Casey Brown, the all-rounder from Revelstoke, British Columbia, against Annika Bierton out of the Netherlands. Casey Brown has a disadvantage. Can she make it up and be the bracket breaker? Or will we see Annika Bierton move on and looking at a repeat from last year? There we go. It's going to be Annika Bierton moving on to the next round. Great to see Casey Brown out here.
Well, that's what she needed to do. You know, when you're defending your crown, you got to come out and show everybody you mean business. She did it right there. So now we get set for Ranja and Jana here. Joe Johnson from Denmark. She'll switch over sides now.
Well, Jonna Johnson accomplished that maximum differential of 1.03, so she's basically just got to keep it smooth right now. She does enter the final straightaway first, doing exactly what she needs to do to defend that first run, and she does it there, crossing the finish line first yet again and moving into the next round.
So she'll go against Annika Bierton. That's how that matchup is going to play out when they go at it.
Well, so far, Jill Kinder and Annika Bearden really kind of looking like they're on a collision course. But
you said it, man, and that's why it looks like that's where it's headed. But you know what? We got to get to that point now because anything can happen. Tracy Hanna on the right. Alana Cullum now on the left. New Zealand versus Australia here. Alana with the advantage by 0.44.
Keep in mind that Tracy Hanna had a bobble out of the gate in the first run against Alana Cullum. So she's going to be going quicker in this run because so far she is bobble free. She's first into this finish line straightaway, crossing ahead of Alana Cullum by 0.92.
And so look at the difference there. So that
it is going to be enough. There we go. Tracy Hanna coming from behind and moving out of that round.
Tracy Hanna making up the difference, and that is going to mean she goes on and she'll face the winner of our next matchup. There they are right there. You see Jill Kittner. She's on the right, of course. And then Emily Seigenthaler, the Swiss rider. She's now on the left, and that's the 1.03 difference. And when you got that kind of difference and you go against Jill Kittner, that's a tough cookie to go up against. Here we go.
Emily Seigenthaler is going to have to be charging, pulling out all the stops because Jill Kittner is looking very, very smooth and unstoppable. Basically racing against herself at this point because with that 1.03 maximum differential, you got to keep it smooth. Jill Kittner does just that. And as this collision course continues, Jill Kittner moves into the next round.
Well, you called it right there. So now we're down to the final four for the ladies right there. That's how that's going to work out. All right, so the ladies, we've seen what they've done. We started with 8. Now we've narrowed the field down to your final 4 for the ladies, and they'll get stacked and racked. But we got the guys. They are ready to go. Don't go away. It's Crankworx Rotorua. It's your Pump Track Challenge, and it's presented by RockShox. We'll be right back with more.
People have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
$30,000 trails in your pocket. Crankworx. Download the free app now.
And a big welcome back to Rotorua, New Zealand here. Your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. Brad J. Cam McCall with the call out here. Our second time here in Rotorua. Crowd's definitely not disappointing, and they're out here full force representing all the riders. Our next riders stacked and racked. Here we go, getting back to action. Tomas Lemoyne and Tomas Slavik. Slavik the winner last night. These guys matched up, and Slavik took the Lemoyne down. Lemoyne's got the advantage. Here we go. Their second and final matchup here tonight.
Lemoyne really settling in his stride tonight. Looked so powerful in that last lap against Tomas Slavik. He has the advantage coming through. And if he crosses the finish line first, it's a no-brainer.
He does it.
Lemoyne moving on to the next round, eliminating Thomas Slavic, getting instant redemption from last night.
Yeah, you know what? And that's something that you know he wanted more than anything. Hated to lose that one. So he comes out and he wants to get it. And, you know, you look at Lemoyne, 3rd in France last year, 4th in Whistler, 3rd. He was on the podium here in New Zealand. So
look how victorious he was coming across that finish line. One hand in the air, fist pumping. He's really settling into his stride, looking stronger and stronger with each heat.
But big ups to Slavic right there. He did his thing last night. Montreal dual speed and style. He took the win out there. So he's been eliminated here tonight. But you know what? Props to him what he did yesterday for sure. And Lemoyne has a chance to try and move on. Oh, this is the one that we've been talking about. The veteran, Barry Nobles, against a new namer out here. He's not a new namer because he's a local kid, but he's a new namer to Crankworx. And you want to handle this one?
He's pumping up the crowd. This is the heat that I'm most excited about so far tonight. I'm really pulling for this kid. Rotorua local, Connor Mahuika. Let's hear it for him, Rotorua.
Mahuika. He wants to hear. He's hard of hearing at a young age. I don't know how that happens.
Well, he's being fueled by this crowd right now. He's got to focus in and pay attention to the task at hand. There we go. Connor Mahuika off to a great start against Barry Nobles. Connor has the advantage coming into this round. Looking so smooth as he has all night. He's got to stay smooth throughout the finish line. He's close. Can he do it? Is it close enough? Waiting for the final call here.
Nobles takes the win.
Connor Mahuika advances.
Connor's moving on.
Yeah. Look at that, the celebration. Let's hear it for Connor Mahuika, the Pegasus Trails loco.
Senator Hannah, what's going on with that little dude?
All right, guys. Connor Mahuika, 16 years old, a local boy from right here in Rotorua. You saw the excitement. Connor, how are you feeling right now? Are you on top of the world?
Bit nervous. First time ever talking to heaps of people like this. So, yeah.
You definitely have the crowd behind you. What does it mean to be doing this festival here on your home soil?
Really good. I tried getting into the speed and style, but didn't work. Here today at the pump track. Seems to be working so far.
A bit of redemption there.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're on to semifinals. Best of luck in the rest of the race.
Oh. Cheers.
Woohoo! Connor Mahuika.
This kid is awesome.
Wow.
Look at his little celebration dance down there after he crossed the finish line first. I love it. We've seen it so many times in the history of Crankworx where a young kid comes out, doesn't even realize how much bike skill he has, and then just blows minds.
And you know, that's the deal. You don't know the bike skills you have until you match up against somebody like that. And he's matched up against some pretty solid competition, and he's proven that he can move on. The youngster at 16 years old. Martin Soderstrom now, Adrian Lerone. Adrian Lerone with the advantage. 0.28 the difference. Martin is going to have to be solid right here, Cam. This is it for him.
Martin Soderstrom has what it takes, but he's going to have to be on point. Martin Soderstrom versus Adrian Lerone. Both riders off to a nice gate snap. Who's going to make it to that berm first? Adrian Lerone out of the back berm first, manually through the final straightaway, crossing the finish line first, so we don't need to even think about the math here. Martin Soderstrom's night will be done, but a great run from out here in pump track.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you go against a pump track crusher like, Adrian Lerone, he's not an easy matchup, that's for sure. The guy wins so many different times, and just looking at what he did last year. Remember, he won it in France, Cam. He also won it in Whistler.
Well, he's trying to do that again here right now, but
you know what's good, though? To see him smile.
Well, you know, he's having a great time out here. Of course, last night things got heated, but of course for good reason. You know, these competitions mean a lot to these guys with the points accumulating. So he's looking to start fresh here out at the pump track tonight and get another podium finish, get some more points. That's the plan for Adrian Lerone.
Well, as soon as the Crankworx became a world tour, that's when things kind of changed. I remember the beginning doing the first ever pump track challenge way back when. I think it was like 2009 or 2010 when we did that first one. It was, more fun. Everybody was just joking around, having a good time. It was fresh, it was new. But now it's coming down to, you know what? There's points involved. It's a world tour. You can win extra money. Competition steps up, and these guys mean business.
Well, the competition is becoming more and more legit, and just the discipline in itself is growing. All these pump tracks popping up around the world. It's just a great, healthy activity. So it's cool to see a competitive form of that activity rising to the top.
So now we got Matt Walker, Max Fredrickson. Matt Walker, the winner of their first matchup by .27, also the winner of the Giant Toe Enduro. So he has been on fire out here. Can he keep the winning streak along? Can he keep advancing on?
Well, Matt Walker looks to be having a blast right now. He's only got .27 of cushion right now against Max Fredrickson. Will it be enough? Max Fredrickson uses that 1-foot technique, pushing off, gets a great start. It almost looks like Max Fredrickson gets the back berm first. First into the final straightaway is Max Fredrickson, and crossing the finish line first, Max Fredrickson by a advantage of .19 over Matt Walker.
Yeah, but not enough.
Not enough. There we go. Matt Walker advances because he had the advantage going into that thing, but Max Fredrickson definitely did not go down without a fight.
Well, the good news is for Matt Walker, he's moving on. There's a little bit of bad news. He's got to face Adrian Larone on that one, so that's going to be a tough match.
The good news is, but the bad news.
All right. Well, we talk about a lot of good things out here. I'll tell you what, one thing we talked about yesterday, we talked about the big number. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the big number here tonight. You want to talk about that, man?
Yeah, let's focus on our Queen of Crankworx from 2015, Annika Bearden. The amount of points that she accumulated to get that crown was 800. That's a lot of points. We talk about how each point matters, so every bracket.
Yeah, and 800 points is what it took for her to get those points that she accumulated. That got her into the position for her to win the Queen.
Well, she's a very well-rounded rider. She rides a downhill bike, an enduro bike, a 4-cross bike, and a BMX bike. She's capable of winning on all 4 of those bikes. That's why our other big number is 4.
Okay, well, we got one more big number, don't we?
Well, the amount of stitches it took to patch Humpty Dumpty up again so she could get back on the bike and compete at that whip-off and the pump track challenge out there in Whistler. 8 stitches in the body to be able to sew it back up, stop the bleeding. They are warriors out here, you know. To be a queen, you gotta come out guns blazing, ready to get stitched back up, ride 4 different bikes, and accumulate 800 points. Yeah. That's the big number for Annika Bearden.
Yeah, stitch me up, coach, and put me back in, and she is back in for sure. And she's also got the advantage, or she doesn't have the advantage yet, but she's gonna match up against Jonah Johnson, who I didn't know much about, but she's moved on. She beat Ronjay Wright. So Annika Bearden, if she wants to continue in her winning ways, she's going to need to do so right here and try and get the advantage to make things a little bit easier for her, give her a little bit more breathing room.
Will we see a repeat of last year? You know, we wanted to see them re-rack last time because we didn't get to see the head-to-head battle in the finals, both rounds with Jill Kittner and Annika Bearden, but they're going to have to make it out of this bracket to be able to do so, and that's never an easy task.
Indeed not. And now here we go, getting the ladies ready to go here. Annika Bearden going against Jonah Johnson. And our next matchup is going to be Tracy Hanna and Jill Kittner. Here they are, Denmark versus Netherlands.
That's an interesting feeling right there when you're all ready to start. You're ready for the gate to drop and you realize, oh, we gotta wait.
Yeah, I think they had the wrong matchup going there. That was Tracy that was up there, and she's coming up against Jill Kittner.
Look at those flags go, Brad. Hopefully that wind calms down for tomorrow. We want calm winds for that slopestyle final.
So we want everyone to send out positive vibes for no wind tomorrow. Is that what we're trying to say right now?
Hey, it can't hurt, right?
Yeah, I like your style there. Jonah Johnson, Annika Bearden, here we go.
Wow, Jonah Johnson actually getting off to a great start there against Annika Bearden. Annika Bearden definitely making up ground into the rollers, pumping the backsides of those things, staying light over the tops of them, entering the final straightaway first is Annika Bearden. She'll cross the finish line first. What will the advantage be? 0.68 of a second. Annika Bearden over Jonah Johnson.
That's some serious real estate right there between those two. So she is gonna have an easier time, and when you have that much of an advantage right there, when you match up again, you can kind of just run the race you want to race. You don't have to go, you know, all the way to the wall on this one. You just got to put it together. Jill Kittner now. Jill Kittner on the right. Tracy Hanna now on the left. So Jill versus Tracy here for the first time.
Well, Jill Kinner wanting that rematch against Annika Bearden. Tracy Hanna wanting to hold it down for the family name. Her brother Mick going out earlier in the day in the men's competition, but Jill Kinner looking pretty unstoppable at this point, crossing the finish line. The advantage will be the max differential of 1.03 over Tracy Hanna.
Yeah, 1.03, like you said, max between those two. But you say that collision, I like when you say that collision course, because the collision course is going that direction right now if it continues in the way it's going. Now we switch it back over to the dudes. Here's a look at how it's gone so far. Tomas Lemoyne right here.
Oh, man, look at that.
Oh, my God.
These are going to be some
Mahuika.
serious heats.
So, but see, you look at that. Okay, so you got Thomas Lemoyne, and you got Mahuika, who's coming up too as well. Now, he's still got to focus on what he's doing. He's having a good time. It's a big party, but you still got to focus on the task at hand.
You know
here.
what I say, Brad? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it sure seems to be working for local boy Connor Mahuika. But Thomas Lemoyne has so much experience in this category right now.
Look at this!
What will it be?
Look at this!
Is it going to be experience or exuberance? Okay, Thomas Lemoyne crossing the finish line first by 0.36 over Connor Mahuika. For the first time of the night, Connor is going to have to make up a differential.
Well, that's going to see how the 16-year-old stacks it up here, 0.36. And when you got 0.36, you almost lead Lemoyne to make a mistake on something like that, because if he runs the race that he knows how to run, and he can take care of business here with a 0.36 advantage.
That was actually our joke from last year during pump track events at Crankworx stops. Is we were joking around about how it is impossible for Tomas Lemoyne to actually make a mistake in one of his heats, because he always looks so solid. And his strategy as well. He starts out casual, and then he ramps it up towards the end.
And so what a beautiful night out here. Thanks for joining us, and everyone join us on the web. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Slope Style Saturday going to be taking place. Don't want to miss the webcast for that one. And of course, our downhill coming up, presented by IXS. That's going to be happening on Sunday. Here's a look at it right here. Rotorua Slope Style Saturday in memory of Magaza. 3 p.m. tomorrow, New Zealand Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be 6 p.m. a day earlier. So that's how that's going out. And you know, everybody's talking about Slope Style Saturday. That's for sure. Theirs is the Rotorua downhill presented by IXS. That's going to be 3:30 on your Sunday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be a day early, so it'll be Saturday at 6:30 p.m. And now we put our next two guys in there. The pump track killer in all red. That's Adrian Larone. Matt Walker, he's on the right. Adrian Larone on the left. First time these two have matched up. Matt Walker, the winner, Giant Toe Enduro. Adrian Larone, third place in the Mons Royale dual speed and style last night. Here we go.
Well, this is where stuff really gets serious right now. Adrian Larone in the red shirt. Matt Walker, the winner of the Enduro, neck and neck into the final straightaway. Every pump counts. It's going to be Adrian Larone across the finish line first by 0.22 of a second.
Oh, we have got to take a couple looks at that one right there, because that looked like some lead changes there. Walker got the jump, that's for sure.
You got to look back when it's that close and see exactly what happened. They came out of that back berm at the exact same time, and they were so identical through those roller sections. The tiniest of margins. It's going to be very interesting to see those guys switch sides.
Boy, that was good stuff right there out of those guys. Now we're going to switch it back over to the ladies and do things again with them and see how that's going to play out. Next up, taking a look at it right now. That's how it's looking. Annika Bearden, the queen of Crankworx from 2015. Well, she's got the advantage against Jonah Johnson. They're going to match up. Tracy Hanna and Jill Kidner. Jill's got the advantage. The collision course looks like it's on the way to being just that, but they still got to stack and rack and face each other one more time.
Very, very, very important heats right now. We may see the rematch, but they both have to make it through here. Annika Bearden right now wanting that rematch. She won last year. Can she do it again? She's got to get past Jonah Johnson.
Boy, 0.68 though. She'd almost, you know, if she just focuses on what she needs to do right here, then she could definitely just be moving on. You don't need to give it all. You just need to keep it close.
Annika Bearden getting a jump out of the gate right now, snapping into that down bank of the roll-in tower, into the back berm first. entering that final straightaway with great speed, crossing the finish line first, securing her place into the finals.
So that means Jonah Johnson, she's going to be heading to the small final. So she'll be the battle for the bronze. Annika Biertjen's going to be going into the big final. She's going to be battling out for that gold medal. Trying to take the win and continue on. Could she repeat as queen of Crankworx and do it 2 years in a row? Well, it's only stop number 1. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Jill Kittner next up. She's the winner, run number 1 by 1.03 over Tracy Hanna. Hanna on the right, Kittner on the left. Here we go.
Tracy Hanna needing to make up that maximum differential of 1.03, and she's looking strong, but she needs to be out ahead. A little tiny bit behind, definitely staying closer to Jill Kittner this heat, but she needs to be ahead. Jill Kittner playing her cards smart, keeping it smooth, crossing the finish line first, and securing her spot into the final against Annika Biertjen. Just like we've been suspecting all night, we will see a rematch, Brad.
Look at the big brain on Cam right there with that one. You called that from the beginning. That was the collision course to start it out, and you got what you asked for, man. Dreams really do come true here in Rotorua.
Yeah, they say history tends to repeat itself, so I'm not that smart, I'll be honest. I just know that history tends to repeat itself.
Hey, bro, just roll with it. I call you the big brain. Just keep going on it. Here we go. Looking at the dudes now. This is to see who goes in the final. This is to see who goes in for the battle for that bronze. And Tomas Lemoyne, he means business here against the young gun. If he was to be eclipsed by Connor Mahuika, that would be a tough break for Tomas Lemoyne. But what a day it would be for Connor to take another win and to move on into the final.
Well, Lemoyne has the experience, but this guy right here, Connor Mahuika, he's got the crowd behind him.
Smiles have turned to seriousness. Here we go.
Connor
he's got to give it all.
Needs to beat Thomas Lemoyne by more than 0.36, but he's behind right now. He really needs to pull something out of his back pocket.
No.
Not going to do it. Thomas Lemoyne crosses the finish line with a hand in the air. He's moving on.
Oh, man. You know, put your hands together for Connor Mahuika.
Wow, what a great showing out here for the local Rotorua rider representing Pegasus Trails. And he'll be moving on to that small final, so the night is not over. No. He can still secure a medal. Look at that. He just realized that right there. I can still get a bronze medal. Go get it, Connor.
Yeah, how's that? 16 years old, coming out, competing in your first Crankworx, and now you're going to be battling out for a bronze medal. Not a bad evening.
Well, the world's best shows up in your hometown. You get out there, try to mix it up with them, and realize you have what it takes to potentially stand on the podium. That's got to be exciting.
But we've seen it so many times at Crankworx, guys that come out and make a name for themselves. Look at way back when in slopestyle, when Anthony Mazzari, when he was, what, 14, 15 years old, he came out and showed the world that he could compete on the big stage. Nikolai Rogakin, same deal with him. He came out and he shows that he can compete on the big stage. And those guys are in slopestyle. They compete on it. You make a name for yourself. Make sure you're taking your pictures and joining in with the hashtag Crankworx while you get things done. Adrian Larone now. Let's focus on this one. And Matt Walker. This, of course, your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. Matt Walker, he's on the left. Adrian Larone, he's on the right. And he's got the advantage by 0.22, Cam.
Adrian Larone wants his spot in that final. They're off. Adrian Larone with a 0.22 advantage. That's not enough cushion to play it safe right here against Matt Walker, a guy who won the Enduro. Obviously carries speed. Matt Walker hanging tight right there, but will it be enough?
So Adrian Larone's going to take this one right there.
Adrian Larone, so much experience, just doing exactly what he needs to do to move on, nothing more. Let's take a look back at this right now. How close they were. Adrian Larone with 2 wins in the RockShox Pump Track Challenge last season. Looking to do it again to start this season off on the right foot.
And the great thing is he's going to be competing in the big final against Tomas Lemoyne. Those guys have matched up before. Oh, man. This is getting good, as you knew it would be. When you saw the list of the names, when you saw the 32, you knew this was going to be a big night.
And we've got 2 exciting heats left for these guys. I mean, obviously the finals is going to be exciting, but Matt Walker versus Connor Mahuika, that's going to be another exciting one too. The crowd will be going nuts for their local boy, seeing if he can get a bronze medal.
It's great how he didn't even realize that he was still in contention to compete for a medal. What? I can still, yeah.
There's 3 steps on the podium? Oh, cool. How great.
Oh, man. I mean, you talk about just a Hollywood story or something on this one. But
it's the magic of Crankworx. That's what it is. You see it so many times over the past decade. Young riders coming out, not even realizing how much talent they have. We saw it in Paul Bascodia, Andrea Lakondegi, Anthony Missouri, and now Connor Mahuika bringing that same type of magic to the Pump Track Challenge.
And that's how you do it. You want to make a name for yourself, and that changes things. Like we talk about Tomas Janone in slopestyle, the year that you got on the podium with him in slopestyle was that 2012, right? Was that? Here he is, a guy coming out, green helmet, no big sponsors. He comes out there and he wins slopestyle at Crankworx, and his life changed right after that.
Absolutely. Crankworx is just a catapult. You come out here and you prove yourself, and it changes your life.
All right, time to check back in. Third member of our team, we got Hannah Bernard down in the mix. Let's send it downstairs to Hannah. Hannah?
Thanks very much, guys. Well, I'm just with the two girls who are about to face off in the small final here at the Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. I have Jonna Johnson. Now, you told me that this is the first ever Crankworx. How confident do you feel going into this race today?
I didn't know what to expect. I was like, the first heat here, I was like, didn't even hear the start, I just go. So I'm just stoked to be here, and I'm gonna do my best.
All right, Tracy, you've been doing great all night. How are you feeling coming into this? What do you think you need to do to take the win here today?
Just stay smooth. I don't know, I really love riding. I think it's really cool to have the crowd so close and gives a lot of energy to the track. Yeah, so pretty excited to race, and it's just fun riding with New Zealand.
All right, well, the bronze medal is on the line. Best of luck, ladies.
Indeed, the bronze medal is on the line for them. Taking a look at how they've got to where we've gotten. Jonna Johnson, Tracy Hannah, who you just saw right there, they're going to face it in the small final, and they had to get through. You know, you saw Tracy Hannah, she got through Lana Collum, and then you look at Jonna Johnson, she got through Ronja Hill Wright to get to where she's at right now. And so the battle for the bronze here in our small final. Jonna Johnson, she is going to be on the left, and Tracy Hannah.
Are those bike racing shoes right there?
I don't know. Are they? Those are Vans.
Well, fighting it out for a bronze medal right now. Jonna Johnson out of Denmark, Tracy Hannah out of Australia. Who's going to take the medal? This is our first run right now of the small final. Tracy Hannah ahead right now. She's going to cross the finish line first by a margin of 0.40 over Jonna Johnson. Moving into that next round with the advantage is Tracy Hannah.
So she'll have the advantage right there, as you were saying, and now we will switch directions on that one. So we've seen the Battle of Bronze, their first matchup. Tracy Hannah with the advantage, 0.40 over Jonna Johnson. So that's the difference she's got to make up. And when you're going against Tracy Hannah, that's going to be a tough one. But they're going to match up for the Battle of the Bronze. But now we focus our attention for the battle for the gold. And the collision course that you've been talking about since the start of this whole thing, that's what we're going to be seeing. We're going to see Anna Bertzi and Jill Kittner going at it. Looking at the guys' side of things right here, that's all set to go. Thomas Lemoyne and Adrian Laurent battling out in the final. France versus France here for the gold. And the youngster, the rookie, in there. So the men's small final we go to right now.
Well, we got a veteran Kiwi racer, Matt Walker, winning the Enduro out here at Crankworx Rotorua a couple days ago against, out of nowhere, Rotorua local Connor Mahuika. Cutting his teeth out at the Pegasus Trails, finding himself in position to win a bronze medal at Crankworx. I bet he didn't wake up this morning thinking this was going to happen.
No. When he was sitting there having his cereal this morning, he had no idea he'd be up in this position.
Well, Connor Mahuika versus Matt Walker. Who's going to be here right now? Facing off head-to-head. Well, Matt Walker with a slight advantage, but gaining ground.
Oh, he's gaining ground. Isn't it enough?
Oh, no. Tire bonking through the finish line. That was a tight heat right there. Only 0.18 separating these two guys. Matt Walker getting the advantage over Connor Mahuika.
You know, Matt, so you look at Matt Walker, you know, the KG veteran, the pro, when it comes down to it, you got the 16-year-old next to him, and he's showing up, and he's competing with the best of the best. That is good stuff. Now, we've seen the first matchups on the small finals. Now we direct our attention for the ladies, and now we'll go to the big final. Tell you, If you were here last year, you saw these same two match up, and things didn't go the way Jill Kittner wanted it. She had a little hang up in the top, and that cost her the race. But out here, she knows what happened last year, and she doesn't want to repeat that. So you know she's changed things, and she wants to make it happen right here.
Deja vu, deja vu.
Feel like we've done this before. So Jill Kittner, she's going to be on the right on this one. Annika Burton, she's going to be on the left. The queen of Crankworx.
Well, we were just thinking, how cool would it be to see these two back in the gate together after the drama last year? Because we kind of were left hanging a little bit.
And let's be honest, Ken, no one wants to see it end like that. No one wants to see it end because of a mistake or something like that. You want to see it happen is what you want to see. All right, so let's see what kind of tension is going on here. We'll check in with Hannah. Here's a look at it right now. Annika Burton and Jill Kittner, they have yet to match up. This will be their first race against each other. Tracy Hannah has the advantage over Jonah Johnson in the small final. They got one more to go. But let's check in with Hannah Bernard standing by with our two ladies ready to do battle. Hannah, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Well, we knew it would come to this. We have Jill Kittner versus Annika Burton. Now, Annika, you took the gold last year in this exact same matchup. How confident do you feel going into it tonight?
I'm just excited to be here. Amazing crowd tonight, and we're just going to have some fun in the final and do my best.
All right, now I'm going to go over to Jill, the other half of this matchup over here. Jill, how are you feeling? You had the silver last year. Are you ready for that gold?
Yeah, I'm ready to race. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's get to it. Big final between the ladies coming up right now.
All right, well, it comes down to this, the first matchup. They call this, what, the sequel? What do we call this?
This is the rematch, right?
The rematch. Jill Kittner on the right, Annika Burton, the defending queen of Crankworx for 2015. She is on the left. First time they have matched up here this year on our first stop here at Crankworx. Here we go.
Well, look at that. Both riders out of the gate smooth this year. Annika Burton versus Jill Kittner. Jill Kittner making it to that back berm slightly ahead of Annika Burton, carrying nice speed through the final straightaway and crossing the finish line first by a differential of 0.78 over Annika Burton. Wow, look at this. Jill wants to come back and take it this year.
Well, you know, because that's been the talk. You know, you have so long to sit and think about how things kind of played out for you. You know, you just want to do what you do, get on that bike, race, and try and get the victory. And she's done it, and done it by a pretty big margin, 0.78. That's a lot to make up, but we saw anything can happen because we saw what happened last year, Cam.
Well, Jill really wants to kind of make up for that mistake last year and win, but Annika, obviously, she didn't want to win that way either. So to win again right now, she's going to have to make up that 0.78, but it would be a more fulfilling victory if she's able to pull it off.
Yeah, well, you know what? The one thing is, you know, they are both battling it out for the Queen of Crankworx 2016 title. You know that's what they're hunting for. And when you're the defending champ, you got the bullseye on your back. These other two guys, well, look at this. France versus France. And these are guys that are always, I mean, always on the podium when it comes to pump track. And I'm talking about Thomas Lemoyne and Adrian Larone. Adrian Larone on the right. Thomas Lemoyne on the left. First time these guys have gone together at each other here this year at Crankworx Rotorua. The battle for the gold medal.
Well, they're off. It's no coincidence we see these two riders make it into the finals time and time again over the last few years. Right now, neck and neck in the finals straightaway. Who knows who it's going to be? So close. 0.01 going to Thomas Lemoyne. Wow. The narrowest of margins. It doesn't get any tighter than that. This is going to come down to the wire once they switch sides. Look at this. These were two absolutely perfectly curated runs right now, putting the bike exactly where it needs to be for maximum speed and crossing the finish line simultaneously. Only 0.01 separating these two guys. Thomas Lemoyne shooting the front wheel of the bike out there. Maybe that's what it was. That's what it took to get him that .01 differential. These guys laughing it off. That's hilarious.
Well, a couple of Frenchies hanging out there, like racing each other. You know, they both want to win, but I think no matter what happens here, you know, your fellow countrymen, whatever happens is going to happen on that one. But, you know, Adrian Lerone, he's a guy who can win it. Thomas Lemoine, if you look at what he's done, he's not gotten the win. 3rd in New Zealand last year, 3rd in France, 4th in Whistler. So Thomas Lemoine, could this be the year that he comes away with the win? Well, he's got the advantage, barely. Well, it is time to battle it out for our first medal here in your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. And we go with the ladies here. So Tracy Hanna, she's the winner, .40, her advantage over Jonah Johnson from Denmark. So all quiet in the gate. Tracy Hanna versus Jonah Johnson. Here we go, back to racing, the battle for the bronze.
Tracy Hanna wants this so bad, and she's got a little bit of cushion right there, but less than a half a second advantage over Jonah Johnson. Tracy Hanna doing exactly what she needs to do. Looks like she'll cross the finish line first, and that secures herself a bronze medal out here at Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge.
Congratulations are in order for Tracy Hanna. Put your hands together for Tracy Hanna. She's going to come away with the bronze medal. Jonah Johnson going to come away in 4th place.
Well, we're giving away hardware. It's come down to that point out here, Brad.
The first medal has been handed out for your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. Did she say she was sorry that she beat her? I almost thought she said, I'm sorry I beat you. Oh, they're so nice. And now the matchup that we've been looking for.
Look at these guys, both smiling in the gate right here, fighting it out for a bronze medal, both of them kind of joking around. That's the spirit of the pump track race.
Matt Walker, Connor Mahuika.
Oh, you gotta love this kid, Connor Mahuika.
So much energy. Well, those are all of his friends right there. Those are his buddies. Go Raro. So they call him Raro. It looks like that's the nickname. So Raro on the right, Matt Walker on the left.
He's always waving to the crowd. I'm worried that gate's going to drop and he's going to be mid-wave.
Here we go. Matt Walker, Connor Mahuika. All right, what's going to happen? Walker gets the jump.
They're off, both of them with a great start, but it looks like Mahuika gets to the berm first. A little bit more exit speed from Matt Walker. Trying to make up that ground is Connor Mahuika, but he had that disadvantage, so it's going to be Matt Walker. The second medal of this Crankworx for Matt Walker, taking away the win in the Enduro, and now taking home the bronze medal in the Pump Track Challenge.
I mean, but give it up for Connor Mahuika right there, coming out, representing the rookie, the local, 4th place against some of the heavy hitters in Pump Track, Cam.
We started this day with a sea of competitors, and this was just one little no-name kid, makes it all the way to the small final, taking home 4th place. Big congrats to Connor Mahuika.
I'll tell you what, not a no-name anymore. Remember that name. Now we switch to the redemption, the matchup, the sequel, whatever you want to call it.
Deja vu, deja vu.
Annika Virtien, here we go. 0.78, the difference with Jill Kittner having the lead and winning run number 1. Can she put it together, keep it close here, and take the gold?
Jill Kittner's got to keep it smooth, but she's also got to keep the foot on the gas because her opponent, Annika Bierden, your defending champion, you're also your queen of Crankworx. Annika Bierden out ahead so far. Annika Bierden's going to cross the finish line first. Will it be by enough?
Is it enough to do it? Who's going to claim it? Silver medal going to Annika Bierden, not able to make it. And Jill Kittner, redemption belongs to Jill Kittner here tonight. The gold medal going to Jill Kittner.
Wow, the game of ping pong continues, Brad.
Let's set it down, Hannah. Take it away.
All right, Joe, we talked about how badly you wanted that gold medal, and now you got it. You got redemption against Annika Bierden. How good does it feel right now?
Yeah, it feels really good after last year. I wanted redemption pretty bad, and Annika's always a worthy contender, and it's a lot of pressure under the lights of this many people, so yeah, I'm glad I could get it done and get a gold.
So talk to me about this last run. What was going through your mind when you saw Annika cross the finish line first?
I was just kind of thinking about how my gate start could have been better. I was like, I just need to be within range, and yeah, usually I like the first one to have a little gap, so felt good.
Well, you made up for it. You're gold medalist in the Women's Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. And you know what? Big ups to Jill Kentner because she has won the Pump Track Challenge so many times. I was talking to her earlier today, and we couldn't even figure out how many. I go, was it 5? Has it been 6, 7? What's the number? She has won it so many different times. Now we focus for the guys. Here it is, the battle for the gold medal. Adrian Lerone, Thomas Lemoyne. You know one thing, France is going to win a gold. Is it going to be Adrian? Is it going to be Thomas? Lemoyne versus Lerone. Battle for the gold.
This one's gonna be a drag race. Only 0.01 separating these guys. Lemoyne with that smallest of advantages, but he enters the final straightaway first. If he crosses the finish line first, he does. Thomas Lemoyne.
Thomas Lemoyne has done it. His first gold medal in the Pump Track Challenge. No more third place. No more fourth place. You're the gold medal winner, Thomas Lemoyne. And Adrian Lerone's going to settle for silver. So that's 2 medals for Adrian Lerone from yesterday's bronze and today's silver.
What a final. Look at that. Spraying the champagne. All of his slopestyle buddies got something to celebrate tonight. Thomas Lemoyne taking home the gold.
All right, Thomas, we talked earlier today about how you have never taken home the gold. You've been on the podium in basically every other placing. How good does it feel to come with the gold here today?
It's like it was my dream because my discipline is like slopestyle, but I love pump track, so I wanted like so hard one day win. And every time I'm not so far, but never win. So this time I won, and I'm pretty stoked.
Well, you definitely deserve it. Tell me what you said to yourself before you went into that last run.
Actually, I was thinking about the last Creed movie, about boxing, and I was just feeling like the same and just was focusing. And I want to text Anton for the bike. He let me, because it's not my bike, so without his bike, I couldn't make it to here.
All right, well, you faced off against Adrian Lerone many times before, and all those times he's beat you. How good does it feel, even if he's your friend, to take the win here?
First of all, I'm like pretty stoked to have a final with him, because we were waiting for this like for so long. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked that I won against him, but I'm still so stoked just to ride with him on final. It feels so good.
Well, congratulations. Thomas Lemoyne, your gold medalist in the Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox.
Oh, man, dreams really do come true. And you know what? You got to feel good about that's a feel-good story for Thomas Lemoyne getting that win after so many near wins. Jill Kentner, congratulations to her coming away with that gold. Bertine getting that silver, and Tracy Haddock coming away with the bronze. For the guys, once again, an amazing night all the way through, and it came down. We saw the rookie battling it out. Connor Mahuika, he gets in that 4th spot with Matt Walker on the podium, his 2nd podium out here. In that 3rd spot, Adrian Lerone, another podium for him because he did it last night, and 3rd comes away with 2nd. But Thomas Lemoyne, no more 3rd place, no more 4th place. That's a win right there. Crankworx Rotorua slopestyle in memory of Bagaza. Join us for that one. That's tomorrow, 3 p.m. start time here in New Zealand, Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. on your Friday. And I'll tell you what, that ain't all, man, because we got it coming up on Sunday. Rotorua Downhill presented by IXS. That's going to be 3:30 on your Sunday, Pacific Standard Time. 6:30. Cam, what an amazing night, man.
Man, it just seems like each night is more exciting than the last, and we got more action coming up this week, and it's going to be ridiculous.
That's something that for the ages. Another amazing competition, another amazing night. Dreams coming true once again. Crankworx World Tour, stop number 1, Rotorua. Please join us back here tomorrow for Slopestyle Saturday. On behalf of Cam, Hannah Bernard, I'm Brad J. Good night from Rotorua.
Nice work, Brad.